Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome along to round 2 of the 2015 Supercup Championship. It's a circuit that not many love, but it's always got a place in my heart. It is the Bahrain International Circuit in Sakhir. We're racing at night time. We've got cars going around the track. It's all nice and lovely. My name is James Kirk, and joining me on this so lovely occasion, as always, is our wonderful cameraman Ben Hackerson, and sitting alongside me on comms for tonight, once again, is Mr. Sam Jones. Hello there, Sam. We've got plenty of people out on track. His company Rude Easterby for walk racing, looking to make up from an awful round 1 in Australia. Currently sitting on provisional pole position. We have 7 minutes to go. Is this a good sign for walk racing at last?
I don't think we're live.
I know.
No. Oh.
I pressed the button.
We are now, apparently.
I've got it up on my computer and it's not on. Right there.
Okay, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Bit of confusion in the broadcast booth. We're not sure what's going on, so I'm going to introduce it for a second time. Hello, I'm James Kirk. I've got Sam Jones on comms alongside me. I've got Ben Hackerson on cameras. We're at Sakhir, yay! It's a track which not many people like, but I love. We've got Rude Easterby currently sitting on provisional pole position. 6.5 minutes after qualifying to go. Sam, what are the challenges that Sakhir brings to the Super Cup calendar?
Good question, James. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and yeah, it's great to see you all again. Great to be here for another round, and I really can't wait for this. You know, after Australia, I'm still buzzing. I can't believe it was 2 weeks ago. It feels like 2 seconds, and we're already here in Bahrain, in the not so sunny Bahrain, because we're actually under the lights, which I think is fantastic. But yeah, what does Bahrain really bring to a driver? Well, in my opinion, I think Bahrain's quite an easy track. I've just always found it quite easy. It's a lot of straights, and yeah, you got some technical corners, but there's not too many of them. So from a learning perspective, it's not too bad. It doesn't take that long to get used to, because you only have to do a few corners each time, and you pretty much got the track sorted out. But I'd have to say the infield section is certainly a challenge, because really here around this track, you want to run with quite low downforce, well, in terms of your wing angle, because there's 3 main straights, and you've got that one, you know, straight down the middle of the track, which is actually quite long as well. So you really can't be sat down in those straights and just get absolutely destroyed by people flying past you. So you've got to keep your wings nice and low. And around these slow, very, very slow corners, there's not much in the way of aerodynamic grip. So that's really where you've got to make or lose all of your time, by just keeping the car nice and controlled, but still being able to carry the momentum through the corners. So yeah, it's not a hard track, but there's still plenty of challenges throughout.
Well, I'll tell you what, someone who is making up time is Risto Capit, who's just gone on to provisional pole position on a 1:35.4. That's a walk racing 1-2, or rather it would be. We do have penalties coming into this round from Australia. We'll quickly go through them. Risto Capit, the man who we've just been talking about, he holds a 10-place grid penalty for escaping in qualifying and returning to the track in Australia. The same goes for Adrian McNaughton, who's currently sitting there in P9. So really good jobs from both those drivers. Are going to be mired back in the field now. And we also have a 10-place grid penalty for Kevin Siggy for a punt in turn 1. And oh god, I'm just looking, Emmanuel Gaxella there goes into P2 for Storm Racing. A great effort from the Romanian. But yeah, Siggy also has a 10-place grid penalty for a punt at turn 1. He's currently sitting P6. So we've got a lot of the front runners sitting not so pretty with 10-place grid penalties, and with 4 minutes or so left to go, it's now their job to try and get as far up the order as they can. Risto Capit, he can't do much more, but Siggy and McNaughton will be looking to eke a little bit more time out. So just looking down the order as well, there's only one car which is qualifying on the prime compound tyre, and that's Morten Wernersen, who's all the way down there in P26. So it looks like majority, oh yeah, I also see Christoph Lichtenstein there actually on the prime tyre as well. Not many people going for a prime compound qualifying run though, and we saw this really more towards the end of last year, and indeed the first race in Australia. it doesn't seem like many people see what's to be gained from starting on the prime tyre, because you lose so many positions in qualifying that you inevitably might get caught up in an incident.
Yeah, it's a 30 car strong field, so it's certainly not shy of competitors, and you don't want to be starting down in the 20s, do you, when you've got to fight your way through? And let's face it, you can make plenty of passes on the right strategy, but if you get stuck up behind one guy, it can absolutely completely ruin your race. And Supercup is really notorious for being able to overtake someone, but then not being able to get away from them, and you kind of end up getting embroiled in a battle where you might switch places again and again. It's great for the broadcast, great for the fans, and I'm sure great for the drivers, unless you're trying to battle your way through the field. So I can understand why most people are going for the option compound tyres here today, and I don't blame them. I'd be out there, I want to be starting as high as I possibly could on the grid, because let's face it, you don't have all the time in the world to get through 20 odd cars.
I'm just having a little look through the grid, because I would like to take us on a lap. Please go on board with P15 Dennis Jordan here, Ben, if you can. We're going to go on the lap of Bahrain International Circuit, go through turn 1 now. Devious right-hand hairpin, then straight into a left-hander and then into a right-hander again. It's a tricky little section, that first part of the Bahrain International Circuit, but if you nail it, you gain so much time. Now heading up to turn 4, try to keep the momentum going around here. It's a little bit sliding out on exit. Dennis taking it nicely. Those are heading to sector 2 now. A left section coming up. Had Andrew Waring take me around the outside of that section yesterday in Formula Challenge. It was a great move. So overtaking Kaneko around there as we head now around the turn 8 hairpin, and then coming on to what I personally think is the trickiest section, a left-hand braking hairpin, and you can see how much the car just wants to jolt out to the right with Dennis. Through turn 10 though, he gets a nice exit, a little bit of a slide as we head now onto the third main straight here at Bahrain, in between turns 10 and now into 11. You want to take this nicely, go on the power as early as possible, heading up through 11 and through 12 now. It's a nice flowing section, and it's nice and flowing towards the end of the lap as well, into another right-hand hairpin, or it wasn't a hairpin, sorry, it's a nice right-hand corner, making sure that you carry the momentum through there onto the fourth main straight at Bahrain, heading down into what is classed as 2 turns, 14 and 15, I think it's just one corner, coming up to it now, braking nice and late, a nice turn in from Jordan, and that is a lap of Bahrain International Circuit. We see David Jones heading into the pits ahead of us. Dennis Jordan, does he improve from P16? No, he does not, but a nice looking lap, and as I say, it takes very little to actually gain time round here, and you can see by the fact that poles are 1:35.4, you have to go all the way back to P23, and Menno Klont, one of our race winners from last time out, to get to just about a second off pole. 23 drivers separated by a second. You know, it's so small the margins as we're just about to end qualifying now, so anybody who gets in the last lap is very lucky. But I see there, Tom van der Voort, he topped the practice session, and he now tops the timesheets here in qualifying. A 1:35.407 is looking pretty good for the Dutchman so far.
Yeah, he's really wanting to make a bit of a bounce back after Melbourne, which wasn't bad for him, but it could have been a lot better. I think that's fair to say, after that race too, where he was leading. Had to pit, I believe, and then made a quick comeback during the race as
Kevin Siggy. Well, Kevin Siggy, he may have a 10th place grid penalty, but he has gone on to pole position, a 1:35.3 from the Austrian. Epic effort from him. I'm just having a look to see who else is moving and shaking. Adrian McNaughton finishes 10th. I see Holmes is 9th. Philip Cutler, what a great effort from Philip again. P8 for the Irishman. I see Sven de Vries for Satellite Racing just come around the final corner. It's strange, isn't it? Satellite so strong in the Teams Championship. He comes into pit, so the top Satellite driver starts P7. Oh no, he doesn't. He starts P4. Better effort from Sven there. He deceived me. I thought he was going into the pits. Gashella there, P5. Heasterbeek, P6. Tom Parker, our poleman from last time, P7. And I think in terms of the top 10, that is it. So Kevin Siggy, he secures his first pole position of the year. But ultimately, a 10th place grid penalty will see him start in P11, and it's Tom van der Voort who will be starting on pole position instead, ahead of Sven de Vries, who actually gets promoted thanks to both Siggy and indeed Capit's penalties. Capit qualifying P3 will start P13. As I see, Muscat there just pops up into P8 to force McNaughton down to P12. So McNaughton will start P22. Capit will start P13 and Siggy will start P11. Vandervoort, De Vries, your front row.
Yeah, so even though it's perhaps not the most conventional qualifying result, I think we're going to see a little bit more of a conventional actual grid following all these penalties. But it's great to see the likes of Siggy making a comeback after what was quite a struggle for Positive after no fault of their own really in Australia, to now at least say that they were fastest in qualifying. And it would be interested to see what Siggy can do. He's always exciting to watch and see how he can come through the field in the race as well. And I'd also like to give a quick shout out to Walk Racing, because Walk, they came into Australia as newcomers to the Supercup this season at least. And I think a lot was expected of them, even though they were newcomers, and they didn't have the best of debuts, let's be fair. So at least at the moment, it's looking much more positive for them today.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, just talking with some of the drivers. Very interesting point here by Philip Cullen. 25 cars within 1.1 seconds. Even last year wasn't that close. It just shows, as I say, those small margins can gain you so much. 1/10 and you can find yourself jumping 5 cars almost. It certainly makes the racing a very interesting prospect. We got our first race of 33 laps. We got our second race of 19 laps. And from talking from the drivers, it seems that the second race is going to be an interesting strategy conundrum, because you can do it on the option tyre, but it might be close in some cases. And we saw that it was very close and perhaps too close for Tom Vandervoort last time. He was easily out in the lead of the race in race 2 at Australia. Had to pit because of tyre wear.
Yeah, that was a crazy race too. It looked like we were going to have a bit of a boring and predictable race, weren't we? And then it all kind of blew up at the end, and very, very exciting indeed. But I think most people try and go for the options. We tend to see that options work half the time it's prime, but the drivers usually know which one to go with, and you'll see the majority of the field go with one set of tyres, and the few that don't, they will probably struggle in race 2. But of course we've got race 1 coming up beforehand, and yeah, I'm actually looking forward to a nice normal race that's not weather affected. I really like to see that, because I think what I really want to see in the series is who is the best, because we've got so many good drivers this year. It's really hard to call, especially at the top. So I just can't wait to see like a good normal weekend.
And of course, we've got 2 of the top 3 drivers in qualifying starting in the midfield. So how well will they do? Before we focus a bit more on this event, let's just take you guys through down the top guys in the drivers and team standings if you're not aware of the situation. So Sven de Vries, a complicated character he is. I haven't double checked this, which I really should have, but I believe that the automatic promotion rule for the winner in the driver standings and indeed the team standings is still in place. So if you win the Drivers' Championship and Super Cup, you have to move up to Super League. And I believe now we've got a new. Oh, we don't. Someone tweet us in. If Will Panisi is listening, please tell me. I need to find out. But either way, there's also this fact of we've now got Super League team being demoted every year, so the winning team in Super Cup will take their place.
I'm sure that's still a possibility, isn't it? That it's more like they will be considered for relegation.
Only for the teams, not for the drivers. Need some clarification, don't we? Either way, he says that if it is, it's still in place. He might not complete the season with Satellite. He might still do it. We don't know. Either way, he's there. He's leading by 1 point from Jason Muscat. So it's the same case as last year. We still got the same protagonists, albeit minus Philip Pushka. Menno Klont starting so low today. I think he was in the 20s the last I checked.
24th, I think.
24th. I mean, he's sitting there third in the championship. That's going to be a disaster for the Dutchman. We've got David Junt there after a very impressive first round in Super Cup. P4, Tom Vandervoort 5th, Jonathan Holmes 6th, Rob Wiesemuller 7th, Philip Cullen 8th after a strong first race but a poor second race, Pedro Melev 9th and Tom Parker 10th. And in the team's championship, Satellite Racing dominating proceedings so far with 75 points, and Malta Force 2nd surprisingly with 43, Simcraft 3rd, Waters Automotive 4th and Twitch Enterprise GP 5th. And then it's a very close battle behind with Positive and Smile 6th and 7th, both on 17 points. PB Racing on 15, Mazurek on 13, and then you have to go down to 10th and Fox to find people sub 10 points with Fox themselves on 7 points. Of course, the disappointment last time was Walk Racing non-scorers, but looking to change that for this race. Bristow Capit, despite having a 10th place group penalty, still starts inside the point scoring positions, and Rudi Sabik in there as well. So a lot of teams looking to bounce back from disappointing Australias. At the same time, the likes of Menno Klont looking to be struggling after a very successful Australia.
Yeah, Menno Klont, he didn't have the best of race 2, to be fair, in Australia. It wasn't a very strong show by him, but it could have been a lot worse. It wasn't a walk racing kind of race, but it's it's a bit odd seeing that far down, because in my eyes, I think Menno's a solid top 15 driver, and he's certainly got the potential to get into the top 10, that's for sure. And on his day, like he proved in race 1, he can win races, and he can win them on merit as well. It's not just by sheer luck. I know he played the strategy right, but he kept ahead and kept up there, and that was the key thing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he has to do today. I'm also surprised to see who is it, Luis Messer down, who was in about 19th, 20th as well, and he had a really good showing in race 2.
Great race 2,
yeah, great to see.
Must be said, all the way from the back of the grid to what would eventually be P6, because the other penalty that we haven't talked about was Emmanuel Geschella. He did originally finish P4, but after punting Robert Wiesenmuller off the road halfway through race 2, he got a time penalty, so that moved him all the way down to P11 and Storm with him all the way down to P13, I think it was. And Luis Mesa, he did finish P7 on the road, ended up P6 overall. That was a delta of, what was it, 22 places, wasn't it? Yeah, 22 places. Absolutely brilliant. And in the sprint race as well, to see him so far down, it almost seems like a complete reversal of fortunes for some of these drivers, and it makes me wonder just how little we can just take from Australia, because yes, I know we had rain, and yes, I did mix up the field somewhat, but is it really that different a track to Bahrain that the field is completely flipped on its head?
Well, I wouldn't say completely flipped on its head. We don't see the likes of Christoph Lichtenstein at the head of the field. No insult to him. I'm just picking out a name.
He dreams of 2010 still. I mean, we do forget he is a champion of Supercup in 2010, and I think it's a credit to the rest of the field, showing just how good it is. Considering that Liechtenstein is not only a race winner in Supercup, but a championship winner as well. To be consistently down in the P25 area. It's insane, the strength of this field. Absolutely insane. And perhaps it's a credit to see, Menno Klont so far down as well, because he is a regular point scorer. And as soon as a bad qualifying comes his way, gobbled up by the field. Below P20 even.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. And not to say that this field could get stronger, but I think it could as well. There's some good guys in Formula Challenge that could make this field even stronger, and that's the thing. It's I think each year it's going to be an evolution, and you're going to see more and more good guys move up into Super Cup, potentially move down from Super League as well, because of course there's a limited amount of spaces in Super League, and people are going to be brought in, and it's going to be chopping and changing, and I think Super Cup is the place to be in terms of great competition, close competition, which is what we tend to see. And it's definitely going to keep getting stronger and stronger. I'm looking at the times as well at the moment, and no one's really setting too many times. No one seems to be too bothered about warm-up in terms of, at least looking at their race pace. Most people look like they're going for standing starts, getting starts practiced. It's much harder than Formula Challenge. You don't have a button to aid you. You've got to be able to use the clutch and use the accelerator to get away from the line, and just seeing Jason Muscat doing a couple of them down the main straight as well. And that's a real key thing. I like that, because it really brings it about the drivers. They have to be able to get the car going, and it can cause an exciting start.
Last round, we saw how important that was with David Junt. starting on pole position in race 2, because of course if you're new here, we have a reverse grid in race 2. The top 6 to 10 cars are reversed thanks to a random number generator. He had a terrible start, from pole position down to P7 in the space of 2 corners. So, you know, if you're up in those high positions, you really want to capitalise, and if you're further back, you want a good start to try and gain as many positions up as you can. So, as you say, it makes it a lot more varied. And those who can perform good starts time and time again, like Tom Parker, for example, really benefit no matter where they are on the grid. If they've had a bad qualifying, they can gain those positions. If they're up near the top, then perhaps they can go for a shot at lead. Another thing concerning next year as well is we're likely to transfer over to R Factor 2 if everything goes well and dandy and the league administration are happy to make the move. So a completely different simulator is sure to mix up the field even further. It's very exciting. Either way, if you want to get involved with the discussion today, then please feel free to hashtag Gpvwc Supercup on Twitter or contact me at Kirky Live. We love to hear your opinions. We love to hear your opinions, especially on race 1, what you think of Walk this round especially, who your championship favourites are after the first round, whatever you like. Questions for the drivers in the interviews after both races have finished. Do all the things on Twitter. As I say, hashtag Gpvwc Supercup at Kirky Life. So, warm-up is now finished. Sam, who do you fancy for race 1?
Oh, that's a good question. I was still thinking about your hashtag there because I know a couple of people last week had a few questions for us in the comments. It was mainly about who is our favourite memes. I don't know why that was asked, but there you go. So you can ask anything you want. But in terms of who I think is going to win the race, well, a betting man would have to say that a Satellite driver could do it, considering how well Satellite have started the season. But today, I think I'm going to go for Tom Vandervoort. I really think that he's got a point to prove to not only himself, but to a few of us out there. After Australia, I think he'll be hungry because he nearly won the race in Australia and he really could have won the race in race 2. So I'm going to go for Tom Vandervoort. I think he'll get it today in race 1.
I am going to go for Tom Vandervoort also.
Oh, no, we're going to be boring today.
Yeah, well, you know...
we can't tally. We can't have a tally.
He was so strong in race 2 until he had to pit for tyres. You have to pit for tyres anyway in race 1, unless it rains, of course. So, you know, what's to say that he won't run away with it? I think he's got a very strong chance and is certainly looking to put Simcraft on the map with their first race win today. I mean, Satellite Racing is the only team with a race win so far. So here we go, heading into the race. We've already had a thing through from Mike Phillis. Clear to point out the
attention, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Was drivers champion with Drag Racing. So shout out to Drag Racing there. Anyway, we are set to race under the spotlights of Bahrain International Circuit. It is the second... actually, no, I lie. We raced under the spotlights in Bahrain last year in the ITC. But this is the first time in the career ladder. The second time in the career ladder, we're racing it at night after Bahrain. Also, I must apologise to everyone at home if I start coughing uncontrollably or if my voice goes. That's because I was ill and I'm only just recovering. So if I go quiet all of a sudden, that would be why. Anyway, it is Tom Vandervoort for Simcraft Racing, leading us off on pole position from Sven de Vries there in P2, looking very strong as our championship leader. Emmanuel Gachella, another strong qualifying from him, starts P3, with Ruud Heasterbeek a little bit better this time for Walk Racing. He starts P4, the Vandervoort's teammate, Tom Parker. Jason Muscat, P2 in the championship, P6. Beau Cullen, the great qualifying for him, he starts P7, with Jonathan Holmes, P8. Valent Hammer, back in the PB Racing car. He only competed in one race last time. That means 2 PB Racing cars in the top 10. So Hammer will be looking to not be at all this time and try and get some good points. And David Junt starts P10 for Waters Automotive. We then have the guy who took pole position but was forced back 10 places, Kevin Siggy. They're starting for Positive Sim Racing with David Franchich, P12 for Waters. Bristow Capit, another man with a 10th-place grid penalty, starting P13 for Walk Racing, with Pedro Mellin, P14 for Mazurek. Danny Asbury starts P15 for Street Fighter, with Dennis Jordan, P16 for Smile. Luis Mesa, a bit of a disappointment for both of us here, P17 for Positive, with Christoph Schur, P18 for Mazurek. Roy Verzeil starts P19 for Fox Racing, and in the top 20 is rounded out by new man Marcel Rauter, the second German. or the third German now, sorry, for Smart Power Racing. Matt Richards starts P21 for TSA Racing, with Adrian McNaughton starting P22, another guy with a 10-place group penalty. Dowie Tapper starts P23 for Street Fighter with Menno Klont, very disappointing. Race winner last time, P24 here for Satellite. Thames Grek starts P25 for Multiples with Rob Mason filling in for Sven Schubert at TSA. Morn Wernerson is the first of our prime compound runners. We'll see how his alternative strategy plays out during the race. He's P27 for Twitch Enterprise GP. We then have Mark Fuller P28 for ST, and then we have the two Fox Racing cars of Christoph Lichtenstein and Christoph Lichtenstein. One of them starting on the prime compound tyre, the other starting on an unknown compound tyre. There's a ghost of Christoph somewhere, we're not sure where it is, but that means that we are missing Calvin Hermsey, so we're one car down already, and ST, their woes go from bad to worse. They're last in the Teams Championship, with Mark, their top car in P28, not looking good for them.
Oh, is it me? I've got two Christoph Lichtensteins on
well,
the
that's
screen.
what I was saying. There's a ghost of Christoph.
I'm worried about that. I know that ghosts can create issues with
servers.
servers.
There's been contact! Oh, what was Fuller doing? I think Fuller just crashed into the back of Wernerson. Let's have a look here. Wernerson was on the pit straight. All I see is Wernerson going round. Oh yeah, Fuller just crashes into the back of Wernerson. He crashes into Lichtenstein, and Wernerson's missing a front wing now. What was Mark thinking?
The field is stacked up so much. I can only say that everyone nearly came to a standstill, and I don't know if he just wasn't paying attention to in front of him, but yeah, it's a disaster. At least Wernerson can get back out, starting from the pit lane.
Yeah, either way. Lights coming on now. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5 lights in here at Bahrain. We are racing, and it looks like a good start from Jason Muscat, good start from Hammer as well. Excellent start from Sven de Vries though. Sven de Vries straight to lead. Ruud Heesterbeek also with a good start as we come hurtling down into the toe and hairpin. Ruud Heesterbeek going for second already. And Tom van der Voort, I thought he had a good start. Not so. He able to hold off Heesterbeek just about. Sven de Vries though, great start for him. He's up into P1. Van der Voort trying to hold off. Ruud Heesterbeek now up into turn 2. And there goes Emmanuel Geschella. Down from P3 to P5 and slotting into P5 there behind Parker, who's had a good start as well. Muscat P6, Capit up from P13 to P7. Great start from the Estonian. Holmes 8th. Richards up from P21 to P9. What a start from him. Great effort. Hammer 10th, Francic 11th. Junt with another bad start. He's down to P12. Verzile 13, Asbury 14, and Philip Cullen, a poor start from P7 actually it was, wasn't it? Down to P15 he goes, and as we head now down the third back straight, it looks like Van der Voort's getting right onto the back of Sven de Vries here. Through turn 11 we go. Van der Voort and Heesterbeek very close to Lichtenstein. I think that was the ghost just leaving the game there. And now Lichtenstein has gone as well, I think. So that's the first retirement. Oh no, Lichtenstein's still going, that's good. But yeah, round turn 13 we go now. Sven de Vries still leading from Van der Voort. That excellent start has sort of been neutralised. Van der Voort straight onto the back, and Sven de Vries feeling the need to go ultra defensive. Round turn 14 we go. Van der Voort tries to go around the outside, and he's still trying to stick it. Van der Voort, what a wonderful move that was. He takes the lead of this race on lap 1 from Sven de Vries, Heesterbeek, Parker, Geschella, Muscat, Capit, Holmes, Richards and Hammer.
Yeah, great start there, and we're still side by side going into turn 1. Sven de Vries is looking back up the inside. He's got the corner well, really tight. But Van der Voort's going to get a run around the outside. Look at here. Here goes Sven de Vries, and he gets the position back for the moment anyway, because he's having to go ultra defensive again. And even Heesterbeek is here right now. Van der Voort around the outside into turn 4. There's contact between the two. Van der Voort's going to run out of room though, and Sven de Vries will hold on for the moment.
Great battling so far. It looks like these top 5. Oh no, actually no, it's the top 4, isn't it? You've got the 2 Simcrafts there, Heesterbeek and de Vries starting to pull away from Geschella, but Geschella is holding a watching brief. Muscat not too far behind in P6, Capit 7, Holmes 8, Hammer now past Richards into P9. Richards though looking for a way back through it to turn 9. Wow, there was contact there. It was very close, but Hammer just about holding on. We've got the 2 Waters there, P11 and 12. We've got Verzile, P13. It's Van der Voort for the lead. Van der Voort dives through turn 11, but Sven de Vries, he's not done yet, is he? And he heads back up the inside of turn 11 again. Van der Voort back up the inside of turn 12. What excellent racing from the 2 here. Sven de Vries holding on for dear life as the top 5 filter through turn 13. I don't think this is going to go away. We saw some close racing in Formula Challenge last night. I think it's pretty close here as well, as Easterbeek now looks to make a lead on Tom Vandervoort down to P14. Doesn't break late enough though. As we head on to lap 2, it is still status quo, but there's going to be all of the slipstreaming going on already. You can look at the cars. Vandervoort, what an exit. He got off at turn 14 there. Looking for the lead there. Easterbeek still in the slipstream. And in fact, Tom Vandervoort is passed for the hairpin as we're going 3 wide into turn 1. De Vries breaks late. And he takes the corner once again as Tom Parker on the outside of Easterbeek. Great move and all. Vandervoort gets crossed up. And he's going to get swallowed now by his teammate Parker and Easterbeek. Vandervoort down to P4. And can Tom Parker secure P2 now? Yes, he can. Vandervoort around the outside of Easterbeek as well. Trying to get all the grip, and he's still side by side as we head into turn 5 and 6. And Vandervoort has it just about. So Tom Parker gains the most there. He's up to P2. And Vandervoort's up to down to P3 now, sorry. And Easterbeek a little bit misguided now under all sorts of pressure from Emmanuel Gashella.
And here comes Risto Capit, Clayton Musker and Jonathan Holmes to make it an 8-way battle for the lead right now. Sven de Vries just can't seem to shake anyone off. I don't know if he's running slightly higher wings, but he's defended down every single straight, and that's just giving everyone else the best racing opportunity to catch up. Parker, slams in his brakes and nearly goes into the back of de Vries, and now he's got his own teammate Vandervoort all over the back of him going into turn 12 right now. Tom Parker will hold on, and he will go back on the offensive. It looks like he missed the apex though in 13. So runs a little bit wide, and de Vries, the first time this race, has actually got a little bit of breathing room. But look at it, it's like the hungry caterpillar all the way down the final straight of this track as everyone tries to suck as much of the air from the car in front as possible. And de Vries, yeah, it's unbelievable. He's hugging the pit wall every single lap. You think we're in like IndyCar or something, everyone's moving around that much. Tom Parker back up the inside of de Vries, brakes very late, but gets to the apex. Get the hell, de Vries though, back up the inside for turn 3 and keeps the place.
I tell you what, Tom Parker, all of the squaring out there is Tom Vandervoort now looking to the outside of his teammate. Ruud Easterbeek doesn't really know where to go as Vandervoort ran the outside of Parker. Well, that was a great move, wasn't it? What excellent racing here at the start. We're only on lap 4 at 33, and I think my voice is about to break. But yeah, de Vries, he just can't break the toe of any of these cars. And I think this is going to be a race decided by strategy once again. Because look how close these guys are. I think Jonathan Holmes there, hanging back in P8, I think he's slightly, you know, a bit bothered by it all, because one mistake from any of these guys and all of a sudden you're going to have a domino effect of people crashing into each other. As here we go, Vandervoort around the outside of de Vries into turn 11. He brakes late, but de Vries holds the inside line. He forces Vandervoort out wide. Vandervoort's going to try and hold on around the outside. In fact, he's going to go up the inside of turn 12 here. Still side by side as we head into turn 13. Vandervoort sticks it up there and he takes the lead. Oh, Sven de Vries is still there though. Still got a little nose in. I think he's going to have to fall behind for now. And always got to be careful of Tom Parker here as well into the slipstream. Tom Parker using the slipstream of Vandervoort to try and get around the outside of de Vries. And around turn 14 we go though. Tom Parker forced out wide. And they've got to be careful because you've got the gaggle of 6 other cars behind you there.
Yeah, de Vries is out the train right now and he's struggling, and here we go. This is like Daytona. We've got bump drafting going on practically as Easterbeek comes now to make it nearly 3 wide. He's looking to the outside of de Vries. Parker has got through. Gexella taking a late dive bomb, and Easterbeek's up into 3rd, going after Parker. De Vries down to 4th, Gexella 5th, Capit 6th, and he's looking at Gexella now. So Capit trying to make a move for Walk Racing. The Walk Racing boys are really starting to come alive now as again, look at that, de Vries and Gexella both having to defend. Easterbeek holding on to 3rd, and Simcraft are loving this. They are starting to pull away. Tom Vandervoort has actually got a 7/10 of a second gap. That is huge in this race right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is I think this could be the strategy that works. If Tom Parker can act as effectively as a rear guard as Easterbeek goes wide at turn 9. And down the order you go, son. And whoa! He flies over the curb, and thankfully he didn't crash into any of the cars, but he's been relegated all the way down to P9 there as Matt Richards, who, as I said, what an excellent start from Matt Richards. P21 up into P8 now. Easterbeek, oh, it just shows how deadly turn 9 is, isn't it? And avoid those curbs at all costs. There's no doubt going to be damage on that car.
Yeah, he went and got huge air for Easterbeek there. He's going to be suffering for the rest of the race with that damage. That is a disappointment for him. but hopefully he can make some of these positions back up. I think we've got a little bit of a calm in the proceedings right now. We've got an 8/10 of a second lead for Tom van der Voort over his teammate Tom Parker, the two Toms, 1 and 2. And then we've still got a train, but slightly more spread out. The guy that really looks like he might make a move is Risto Capit for Walk Racer right now, looking to the inside of Gexella. He's a little bit too far back, going to slot back in into turn 1. Gexella's going to hold on to 4th place, gets a good exit out of turn 2 as well. So Gexella should hold on to this position for now. And the cars are starting to spread out. He's already looking back up the inside of Richards, going to turn 4. He's got the inside, thinks better of it, and slots back in. So he's currently down in 9th position.
Just to give you an idea of how close the field is at the moment, the top 17 cars here on lap 6 of 33 are still within 10 seconds of each other. 10 seconds covering 17 cars is massive, but as you know, I think as is very evident now, Tom van der Voort starting to pull away. He's now a second clear of Tom Parker, but Parker has not lost De Vries, who has not lost Gashella. I think Capit having a bit of trouble getting past Romania now. He's falling back into the clutches of Muscat. You then got Holmes, and behind Holmes, he's to be having a little look at Richards. I think he's a little bit out of place, is Rude now. And there was an article I read after Australia where Camaradaru Bogdan was very adamant. He said that he has the 2 best drivers in the Supercup field. Well, I think there's a debate to be had about them being the fastest, but Ruud Heasterbeek's just made another mistake, and he is being held up, no doubt, by Matt Richards down there in P9. And my question to you, Sam, is how can you have a best driver when mistakes are, being made all the time?
Well, you don't have a best driver, that's simple. The best driver is the most all-round driver that not only has pace, consistency, but is able to keep cool under pressure and under heightened emotions and retain their position. And unfortunately for Heasterbeek, he's back up into 8th, sorry, I've missed that. And he's looking now at
turn 1.
Jonathan Holmes looks like he's made a little bit of a mistake coming out of 3. And Heasterbeek is actually going to have to defend from Richards. Richards looking back around the outside, but he's going to run out of room. And Heasterbeek just holding on to 8th position there. Richards not going to go away lightly. But yeah, Heasterbeek, we saw him in Australia, made a couple of mistakes and put it into the wall. So he made mistakes there. He's made mistakes again today. I know it was only a lockup, but it was a lockup that cost him 6 positions early on in the race. You don't want that happening. And at the moment, it looks like Capit is the guy that's leading the walk racing duo. Although he too had a couple of lockups on the previous lap, which caused him to drop back. But he's starting to catch back up with Gexella right now. So don't rule Capit out, but he also needs to just iron out these little tiny mistakes that might be creeping in. And walk racing could start to move up the field.
I would say it's probably worth going back to this battle for P7 here, Ben. Jonathan Holmes, he's looking to struggle. And we saw this with him last round, didn't we? We saw he was neither here nor there with pace. There were parts where he looked nice and comfortable, but there were also parts where he just looked slow, and he's under all sorts of pressure from Heasterbeek and Richards at the moment. As behind there we see the 2 Waters Automotive cars and Philip Cullen all in a row there. But yeah, Jonathan Holmes under increasing pressure here from the Dutchman and the Welshman as Heasterbeek looks to the inside of turn 1. Can't get anything done though, and as you say, you've got to watch out for Richards there, who's looking racy.
Yeah, Jonathan Holmes is one of these guys that isn't initially fast. Well, he's initially fast, but not like initially fast compared to the people around him. But then he'll tend to pick up the pace going on into a race, so by the end of the race he'll be much faster than he was at the start, at least in terms of relatively consistent lap times and compared to his surrounding competitors. So I wouldn't rule him out at the moment, but he will probably hold up Heasterbeek and Richards for a little bit until he finds his feet in this race. But let's look at it. Muscat isn't exactly pulling away from Holmes either, and there definitely seems to be a bit of a rift starting to grow between the top 5 at least and the rest of the field.
Yeah, whereas a few laps ago it was the top 17 covered by 10 seconds, it's now only the top 12, isn't it? So the pace is starting to be picked up, and it's certainly by a certain Tom van der Voort, who is now 1.3 seconds clear, 1.5 seconds clear of Tom Parker. The Dutchman is really starting to stretch his legs here now. Tom Parker and De Vries 1.5 and 1.7 behind you. Then got Gashella and Capit in a little duel, and then, as you say, you've got Muscat sort of leading a 3-way battle of Holmes, Heasterbeek and Richards, and it's all the way back to Jan Francic and Cullen to find yourself outside the top 10. But let's keep on board with Muscat and Holmes here. I reckon we might have a move. Oh, sorry, no, Tom Parker back up to P2 here. Tom Parker looking to defend off De Vries into turn 1. The ulti inside line. De Vries has got a nice exit. Oh, does he make contact with Parker? I'm not too sure. Either way, Parker holds on. Meanwhile, looks like Holmes went deep at turn 1. Easterbeek pass into P7. And now Holmes has got to watch out for Matt Richards behind him in P9. Looking up on the inside of turn 4. Can Richards make the move? Well, we breaks late, but not late enough. And Holmes, lucky boy, able to stick in P8.
Yep, that was a good textbook manoeuvre from Easterbeek. Great cliche there, because that doesn't really mean anything, a textbook manoeuvre. People seem to use it for any kind of overtake. And looking at P10, oh, look at this. The Waters Automotive boys of David Francic and David Yunt are really going for it right now. Side by side, have I missed anything here?
Yes, Cullen, no. Well, all I would say is I would not want to be Andreas Waters at this point. Because the last thing you want is two drivers battling into turn 11. As all Matt Richards up the inside of Holmes just ahead as well. That was a nice move into turn 11, so Richards up into 8th, Holmes down to 9th. But yeah, Yunt was getting very close to Francic, wasn't he? And you don't want to go side by side through turn 9. It's a bit frisky through there, but Francic seems to have got a little gap on his teammate now, and it's all about Philip Cullen. Can he get past Yunt?
Yeah, that is the question. And Cullen, once again, really impressing. You know, not doing anything overly exciting as he now looks up the inside of David Yunt.
Gexella, yeah.
Go around the outside of Sven De Vries into turn 1. De Vries just got nose ahead and going to keep the position. What's going to happen coming out of 2? De Vries keeps to the apex, gets a bit wobbly going into 3. Holds on at the moment. Gexella's going to get a run though, isn't he? De Vries once again having to go defensive.
Oh, Gexella!
Dives
up the inside he goes. He's tried to pull a Ricardo, but De Vries holding his line, holding stern. Manages to hold on to P3, but the Romanian has started to pick up the pace. Further back, Holmes, he's gotten past Richards, and Richard had an awful turn 1, lighting up his tyres, as I've seen him doing a couple of times actually. So that has reversed once again, but Gexella really starting to pick up the pace, and him battling with De Vries now brings Capet back into play. The battle for the podium is still very much on.
Yeah, and just going back to Holmes as well, he has got a bit of a train behind him. He's got Richards, Francic, Cullen, Yunt, and now Siggy and Messer, the two Positive Sim Racing boys, have caught up. And once again, Messer's doing a better job than Siggy. He started further back down the field, and he's right in the gearbox of his teammates. So great job by the new boy into Supercup this year.
I'm going to focus back on P3, I think. This is very juicy. And look at Capet now. Capet is right on the gearbox of Gexella, and we'll have a look to see whether any move can be made on the home straight here. Heading through turn 14, it just looks to me, going on board with Gexella, it seems like Gexella's just got better brakes. And that's where he's making up the time. Heading on to lap 11 of 33 here, a third through this race. De Vries feels the need to go super defensive. Goodness me. Oh, the two touch on the start, finish straight. De Vries turning into Gexella. De Vries going deep, and Gexella has a nose in. But I think De Vries really playing the perfect line there. Gexella can do neither here nor there, really. And so into slipstream they go once again. It's ever so close as Gexella up the inside of turn 4. And once again, De Vries holding his line. Lucky boy so far.
Yeah, sorry, I was just looking there. Cullen had a bit of a mistake going into turn 1, dropped a couple of positions. But De Vries, well, he's just having to defend every time he goes in a straight line. He's having to go defensive, and Gexella is really pushing him, but he's got to be so careful because Capet is looking hungry now as Gexella just locks up into turn 8. And he gets down on the power, and there's just a bit of a gap now, so De Vries should be okay for the moment. Capet still there as well, and I'd just like to point out that Tom van der Voort is at the moment the best driver in the field. He's the only guy that I've seen get into the 35s. I don't know if someone's done it now, but he's the only guy that I've seen do it in this race so far. So he's really got the bit between the teeth today.
He's using the clear air to maximum advantage and touches the gap now. That let's see when they cross the finish line. Van der Voort goes on to lap 12 now. Parker behind. The gap is 2.5 seconds, so Parker actually holding Van der Voort there, as there's more moving and shaking behind. As all, let's see, no, Geshella's passed De Vries on the straights. And this was something coming. Heading into turn 1, De Vries around the outside though. De Vries great braking, goodness me. Geshella seems to have the good exit, but De Vries is good on the brakes. And yeah, what I was thinking is, look at that, Holmes getting swamped. Francic takes 2 cars on 1 straight. Francic up to P8 now. Matt Richards into P9 still. Holmes into P10, he's getting swallowed.
He's persistent, isn't he, Richards? I'd have to say. He's kept that 9th position all race. It seems to be the place that he wants to finish. But Francic, out of nowhere really, because he was so far behind, well, him and Yunt was so far behind Richards and Holmes, but they both caught up. And Richards diving back at the inside. Oh, Francic just swipes his nose off. He's going to feel that one in the morning. But Francic, yeah, certainly out of nowhere. Now up into P8. We'll see if he can start to pull away. Or are these all just going to squabble as Francic? Oh, slides up the rear tyres. Nearly spins it. Richards has got to run. He's going to look to the inside. Going into turn 9. Can he take up the inside? Brakes very, very late. Oh, and they're side by side still. Going through here, 11 into 12. Oh,
what a nice move.
Yeah, good effort round the outside.
Oh, Francic's down the inside again. Goodness me, that was a dive, wasn't it? But Francic does get it. Has he gone a bit deep though, I wonder? Richards now back up the inside, and look at Holmes. Holmes is looking to take advantage of this as well. Is he going to go on the inside of both of them? Yes, he is, down into turn 14. Holmes. Contact does take Richards, and a bit of a light up there from Holmes, and I think Francic got away with that one. A very bold move from Holmes as going into turn. Once again, I'm looking at De Vries, Geshella, Cappy, they all go through. Easterbeek's starting to catch up as well, but this is the battle we're interested in back here. P8, Francic goes in nicely, and look how tight everyone is taking that line to make sure nobody overtakes them. Funny stuff, but yeah, I think it's a good move from Francic. He's got to lose the slipstream of Matt Richards now, because as you say, he's persistent. He's like a loyal dog, always by your side, but this is one fierce dog as well. He wants more points.
Yeah, this is a kind of dog that you just want to kick away. You don't want him by your side at all. He's not your dog. You're not going to feed him. Yeah, lost. That's what I'm sure everyone will be saying. But Richards is doing a great job. He really is. He's just quietly getting on with it and just holding his own. I don't know if he's got less wing or what, but he's certainly making it his. And I'm just looking now, Gexella's really dropped back from De Vries, so suddenly Gexella, Capit and Easterbeek are in a battle of their own for 4th, 5th and 6th, and Sven De Vries finally, for the first time in this race, got a track to himself.
I am wondering, the option tyres, from what I understand, can last anywhere between 17 to 23 laps. Might it be worth someone pitting early to get out the traffic? Because people are losing a lot of time by doing all this battling.
Yeah, they certainly are. Are we on lap 12 or
we're on
13?
lap 14 now, actually.
14, right. I can't tell because we've got percentages up, so that really doesn't help for me.
Oh,
and
there we
of that,
are.
Matt
Richards.
Yeah.
There we are. In the
Oh,
country.
Gexella. Look at him, he's having to defend from Capit through turn 2. Capit just gets cut off, and now Easterbeek's going to get a run on his own teammates, so we've got the 2 walk racing cars going side by side. Capit's just going to fall in, and Easterbeek's going to have a look at Gexella. Thinks better of it, and Gexella again holds on to the 4th position at the moment.
Lucky boy. But with Richards pitting so early, where does he come out? He's going to be coming out on the prime tyres as well. And there we are, he comes out in P24, just ahead of his teammate, Rob Mason. Interesting. And that's a lot of clean air ahead of him as well. Has Richards made the right call? We're not too sure. Looking back though, yeah, Geshella. Looks like Capit's just dropped off a bit. Easterbeek really starting to capitalise here now on people starting to fall off the pace. I wonder whether Easterbeek's just got a little bit more tyre wear than others. But at the same time, I'm just looking to see whether anybody else is looking to pit, or whether that was an early pit stop from Matt Richards. I mean, and Geshella's off the road. Geshella's off the road. He broke on the curb, and that is a deadly one. Easterbeek through to P4, Capit through to P5, Muscat through to P6. Geshella comes back out in P7.
That's a shame for Gexella. He'd been dropping in lap times over the last couple of laps, I guess, with all the battling. Perhaps he needs to change his tyres. I think he's a bit more aggressive than some of the drivers in terms of their tyres. Nope, he's not going to pit. He's going to battle on with Muscat. But I have noticed some other drivers have been setting their personal best laps of this race over the last 3 laps. So the tyres are holding on for the moment for some people, but perhaps there is that cliff, and when you hit it, you're just going to lose it. As Jonathan Holmes is defending from Kevin Siggy. Kevin Siggy round the outside into turn 1 and makes it done easily, and Holmes is going to have to defend now from Philip Cullen and David Yunt.
Holmes has just got no pace at all. I tell you, he went right up against the pit wall, did Holmes. It was lucky that Siggy didn't put his nose in, and Cullen looking. But Holmes has just got no pace whatsoever. You think out of all of these drivers that he'd be the one to pit to get off these option tyres, which are clearly not suiting him, and onto something different. Yet, you know, he's still out there.
Yeah, his times haven't looked good all race. He was complaining earlier that he's come on the server today and just doesn't have the pace that he had yesterday. I don't know if there's something different in terms of the ambient conditions or the track conditions, but it's certainly not suiting him, and he's really, really starting to struggle. And he looks like he might even drop out the top 10 here, because Cullen and Yunt are looking strong, and Roy Virgil starting to make a move back up the field. So he's doing alright, a side race for him so far.
He's had a quiet race, Virgil, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Someone who gained a lot of attention in Formula Challenge, not only for his pace, but his lack of racecraft. He's doing a solid job for Fox Racing. By the way, Dowie Tapper into P14 and Menno Clont. What a quiet race he's had. He's into the point now in P15, but only a point for Menno? I mean, that's a disappointing event all round, surely.
Yeah, started 22nd. He's only basically made up 7 positions so far, and a couple of them come about because of pit stops too. I'm just looking, my favourite driver, Luis Messer, I don't know what happened to him, whether he made a pit stop, but he's fallen back down to 20th now, as I think he might have made a pit stop.
Cullen is through on Holmes at turn 1, and it just looked to me like Holmes has got no braking, no traction out of corners, and no top speed, which around this track, all 3 of those components are rather crucial on a racing car.
Yep, unbelievably low. He did set his fastest lap of the race last time around. I would point out Jonathan Holmes never has any brakes. Even I cannot brake him, so it's not good. But back to our leaders. Tom van der Voort is leading by 2.6 seconds, and he was only off his personal best by 7/1000ths of a second in that last lap alone. So he's still running strong. Tom Parker has picked up the pace as well. He's now into the 35s as well. So the 2 Simcraft boys have basically run away with it today so far. Let's keep our fingers crossed that we don't have a repeat of Australia where it all kind of went wrong for them.
Van der Voort in. So our race leader on lap 17 of 33 is in onto the option tyres. Parker goes through as well. De Vries, Easterbeek, Capit, and Gashella all go through as well. As does Muscat, as does Francic, as does Siggy, as does Cullen, as does Holmes as well. I'm just looking further back. I think we do have another pitty. Yes, we do. Tapper in, Verzile in, and Jordan in. So I think Tapper's had a moment somewhere. But yeah, people starting to pit now. We've had one retirement as well. Lap 7 of 33, Pedro Mellin for Mazurek. He was out of the race with the accident. But where does Van der Voort come back out? Van der Voort comes back out into P11. So points looking pretty solid for the Dutch driver.
Yeah, it's a good job by him. He's in 11th, yep, just behind Holmes, as he said. So he has got a little bit of clean air in front of him. And can you believe that Clont is behind Van der Voort after a pit stop? Not Clont's day at all. I think he'll still be pleased to pick up some points if he continues with the way he's going, but it's certainly not Australia. It's quite the opposite, really. Just looking through the field, I think everyone's spread out a bit now. I think we've actually got some calm. The only battle that we might have is Gaxella versus Muscat. So Gaxella has got back in front of Muscat. He's into 5th right now. Still got to make his pit stop, both these drivers do. But he's got back in front of Muscat. They're still pretty close on the track, so Muscat's not out of this battle at all at the moment.
Parker in. So now our second race leader is in. Just looking around to De Vries. De Vries is staying out. Easterbeek looked like he was going to the pits, but he isn't. Everyone else staying out. So the Simcraft boys, who are known to have bad tyre wear, do come in, as does David Francic as well. So Francic and Parker in. Where is Van der Voort? And what is the gap to Parker? It looks like Van der Voort's being held up behind Clont here. So Clont must have overtaken Van der Voort at some point. Sorry. Van der Voort going past now. Out comes Tom Parker. Oh my word, how much time did Parker gain? And he's come out right into the battle between Clont and Hammer. Parker gained so much time on that lap, but Van der Voort lucky to stay ahead. Parker, he's come out into the worst situation possible, isn't he? Right back out into a battle that he doesn't want to be part of.
Yeah, and Hammer is not the guy to mess around with. He will defend, he will attack, he will do everything, and he's done well to get past Clont and dispatch him quite quickly, and already starting to make a little bit of a gap as he comes back through the field after a mistake in the first couple of laps. And now Parker is getting around the outside of Clont. Clont's not making it easy for him. There's a little bit of contact, and Clont actually holds his own into turn 8, goes a little bit wide. Parker gets the switch back, so he now gets the inside into the next corner as we go down the back straight, I believe you'd call it, or the infield straight.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was a bit dodgy from Parker. He pulled across Clont in the braking zone. Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, luckily it didn't affect him. We saw a bit of that in Australia, and Paul certainly fell foul of that.
Both walk racing cars are in.
What are they going to do here?
And Gashella is in as well. Now, there has been a bit of a murmur about pitting side by side.
Well, it's not allowed, is it, anymore?
Well, that's the thing. It's not in... Where is Capit?
He's stacking.
Oh, he's stacking. Oh my word! Calamity for walk racing yet again. As Holmes is in there, I see. Also, I think who's that as well? God, they're all coming in either way. But do these guys not communicate or something?
That is terrible. That is poor communication.
Foobar.
As a team, you should know never to ever pit at the same time. You just don't do it. It's not on. And I was thinking they're actually going to pit side by side, but they didn't. Capit actually stacked behind his teammate. Rightly so, that's the legal thing to do, but it's cost him dearly. Look at him, he's out behind Accelerate, just in front of Francic and Holmes, so he's dropped a lot of time here having to wait for his teammate. For the best part of, what is it, about 6 seconds pit stop here? 9 seconds?
Yeah. 20 seconds in total or so, so not... Wow, it's astonishing. Where's the communication? Either way, we need to now look to these top 4 guys. De Vries, Muscat, Siggy, Cullen. All 4 of them have not pitted yet. And let's have a look now to De Vries. It looks like he's going to be coming out behind the Simcraft guys if he does pit. When does he come in though? He comes in now. De Vries is into the pits. What about Muscat? Muscat goes round again. Interesting move from the Maltese driver. Siggy also in. Cullen goes round again. So Cullen and De Vries, Cullen and Muscat will be the 2 front guys now. Not to pit. Here comes Van der Voort. Hammer is in. What about Clont? Clont stays out. Interesting. And contact. Who's that round? It's Terence Gretsch. There was contact, and that was with Mesa and Gashella. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Mesa's in. Looks like Grech is in as well. And Mesa, what a difficult pit stop. He had to come in ahead of Hammer there. So Muscat leads from Cullen. Van der Voort, Parker, Clont, who is still yet to pit, remember. De Vries well ahead of Heasterbeek there. Gashella, Siggy, who's made up loads of places there. He's up into P9. Then it's Francic, Capit, and it must be said, those 2 are very close. And here comes Capit now on the back of Francic, remember. Oh, wait, no, so Francic must have gotten past Capit, mustn't he?
Yes, he
Capit
did.
was ahead of him. So, bad to worse for Risto Capit. Holmes is back there in P12. Hammer P13. Richards has lost loads of time, hasn't he?
He pitted early, and I just don't think the prime tyres have suited him, because ever since he came in, he's been dropping about half a second to a second per lap. So it definitely wasn't the right call pitting early for the prime tyres. It's not helped at all.
Even in all that traffic. So Richards 14 and Dennis Jordan there rounding out our top 15. Thankfully, you've had no more retirements. But yeah, let's now look to Jason Muscat. He's coming around the final corner now. Surely he's got to pit. That's the car angle to pit. So our race leader, our 4th race leader of the day, comes in now. And that just leaves Philip Cullen. And he is also in as well. So the order is about to shake out. Here comes Van der Voort around the final corner. He's going to retake the lead. Menno Clont comes in as well. He was the final option runner in the top 10. So it's going to be Van der Voort, Parker. Just looking at Muscat coming out now. De Vries.
Good getting, yeah.
Or is he? You're
Yeah, yes.
just about, yeah. So De Vries third. Easterbeek fourth. Muscat, he has been a lot of time, hasn't he? He's up into P5. Gashela 6. Siggy, no doubt the biggest benefit. He's up into P7. Cullen 8th. Francic 9th, but for how long? Risto Capit on the inside of turn 1. Francic on the inside of turn 2. And Francic...
Oh, he's gone!
Capit's gone!
No, he saved it. Oh, no, he hit the wall.
There's going to be damage on the suspension there. So Francic 9th. Holmes 10th. Clont up into 11th. So Clont has gained positions as well. Capit 12th. How much damage is there on that car? Oh.
Luckily, he didn't lose the front wing or anything, but yeah, that's another blow for Capit, really. He's going to struggle to come back from there. He could possibly pick up a couple of more positions, at least Clont. That's if the damage isn't going to affect him too much.
There, though.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do now. He might be able to regain his composure and just start to pick people off, well, at least a couple of people anyway, and pick up the times. We'll have to check back on him and check his lap times. But I'd just like to say, Kevin Siggy, what a fantastic job he's done. I'd just like to point out to you that in his 4 laps before he pitted, he did a 35.9, a 36.1, a 36.0 and a 35.9. And they are 4 very consistent and very, very fast lap times. And he was faster than pretty much anyone else in the field over those 4 laps. So good job by Siggy, and is in a well-deserved 7th place right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And in a bit of no man's land as well, he's got Gashela ahead of him by about a second or so. He's got Cullen behind him by about 2 seconds or so. So nice running time for Siggy. And as you say, he deserves all the plaudits he gets today, because it's been a fantastic job from the Austrians so far. Looking back up at the front though, the gap has pretty much remained the same even after the pit stop, as Marcel Rauter, the new boy for Smile Power Racing, he becomes our 2nd retirement of the day. But yeah, it's remained pretty much the same between Van der Voort and Parker. 2.8 seconds the gap. It's actually increasing now. And I've also just noticed a certain Mr. Hammer getting past Risto Capit. These two are really fighting it off now for 12th place as Risto comes back up the inside of turn 4. But I think Hammer has absolutely got the pace on him. As I said, if Risto didn't receive suspension damage from the wall, he's a lucky boy. But from the lack of pace he is showing now, as Hammer goes very wide. Will he make a dive into turn 8? No, he does not. But yeah, looking a lot slower is Capit, and all under all sorts of pressure from Balint Hammer, who, it must be said, he's not looked like completely solid. He's not looked a complete package once again, but at least he's there in the points still.
Yeah, he's got himself up there. He had a bit of an issue at the start of the race, dropped down from 10th to 19th, and I think he just needs to calm down a little bit. He doesn't need to attack everyone. He doesn't need to stick his nose where it really shouldn't belong. And he's got a bit of a Formula Challenge driver in him, in my opinion. I think he's new to the league, so he's got some time to learn. But definitely, if you just calm it down a little bit. As we switch to P3, look at this. Sven de Vries is defending from Ruud Heesterbeek into turn 1. Heesterbeek around the outside. Oh, he nearly spun. He nearly did a Capit. Saved it, though. And Sven de Vries will hold on for 3rd at the moment.
Certainly not a safe 3rd, is it? Sven de Vries has been under... He's pretty much been defending whatever position he's been in since the get-go. And Heesterbeek is just looking ever so more ominous, isn't he? I think Risto has a lot to learn about Formula Racing. I wasn't sure about how good he was going to be, and he is fast, don't get us wrong. But mistakes are made. I mean, Heesterbeek's made a mistake as well. Remember, he went off the road at turn 9 earlier in the race. But he's got the bit between his teeth now. And considering that we're on lap 23 of 33, 10 laps to go, I think he can have Sven de Vries for his first podium of the year.
He certainly can, because look at that, he made that mistake, dropped back fairly few car lengths, and he's already pretty much made that up. I won't be surprised to see de Vries once again defending down, maybe not this straight, but definitely down the pit straight, as Heesterbeek really starts to reel him back in. I wonder if at the end of this race, before race 2, de Vries is going to take some clicks of wing out, because I don't know what it is, but he just can't seem to stay away from people. He's always got someone coming up to his rear wing. He
did this last year with Muscat, if you remember. Muscat had the wings. Muscat had the top speed. De Vries had the wings, and as you can see there, the wings certainly not working in this particular scenario. He brakes late though into turn 1, but I think Heesterbeek has this. Yes, he does. That's a lovely move from the Dutchman, and it's a double Dutch podium now. Double Dutch Dong and double actual Dutch. With Tom leading Heasterbeek. Oh, De Vries up the inside once again for turn 4. He wants that podium back, and this is the sector where he will gain the most love from his setup. They're going side by side into turn 5 and 6, still side by side. Heading through turn 7 and De Vries. Well, that was dogged fighting if I've ever seen it. Back up into P3, but how long can he keep it? I can't see how he can hold it onto it for the rest of the race, Sam.
I don't know. How did he manage to hold on first for so long? I have no idea. And yeah, Heasterbeek, the only enemy he's got is himself right now. He's got the time, he's got the pace to get past De Vries, but he just needs to make sure that he doesn't make a mistake and potentially cost himself a podium, because that'll be a big podium for Walk. It'd be great for Walk in only their second race in Supercup, let's not forget, to pick up a podium. That'd be fantastic for them. So Heasterbeek's got the time. As just looking back down the grid, Jonathan Holmes and David Frančić are having a great battle. Holmes has finally started to waken up, and he's battling it out with Frančić for 9th and 10th position right now.
Just noticed as well, Risto Capit found a bit more pace as the Estonian. He's past Menno Klont and into P11, but the place you want to be is P10, because I remind you viewers at home, the top 6 to 10, thanks to a random number, get reversed in race 2. As Heasterbeek is back past De Vries. Sorry, we've got to go to this battle for the podium. Into turn 1 we go now. Heasterbeek, it's once again the wings working for De Vries. He stays ahead, but yeah, great battle between Frančić and Holmes. I noticed Holmes had gotten past Frančić ever so briefly into P9. And we'll see whether Holmes can outbrake Frančić into turn 1. Looks like it. Frančić goes around the outside. Holmes stays on the inside. And Holmes giving him plenty of room. But the room was not needed. Holmes up into P9. For how long though? Frančić right onto the gearbox of Holmes as we head into turn 4. We've seen plenty of moves up here so far this race, and ever so close between the two. Holmes just about holding on, no, as we head into turn 5 and 6. Going to be a great battle between these two until the end for sure.
Yeah, definitely, and it's really going to be important as well, because I wouldn't be surprised if Capit catches these two guys up, and it's going to be key.
Because he's still embroiled in a battle with Hammer and Klont, to be honest.
That is true. It depends whether Hammer keeps tapping his rear end, I guess. But I think, yeah, Capit could do it if he can break away. And I think he's going to do that right now, because Hammer's just making a mistake. He's gone wide.
And the almost Magnussen Klont as well. I think, yeah, Capit's been let off here. Let's look at Klont, see whether we can get through in turn 11. Surely that's signed, sealed and delivered.
Side by side for third.
As I'm sorry, Heasterbeek's gotten past De Vries. He's gone past De Vries, and it was before the front straight as well. As I thought Heasterbeek was going to pit there. Goodness me, he got through on the straight before the final turn there, and look how Heasterbeek almost bump drafting, almost being bump drafted, I should say, by De Vries. Parker. Parker's been off the road. And all of a sudden, this has become a battle for second in Heasterbeek.
Oh, look at the contact.
What a great move from Heasterbeek. Opportunities galore.
De Vries is not happy.
What happened to Tom Parker? That's what I'm interested in. Let's have a look here. Oh, he just lost it under braking completely. Almost hit the wall. Was lucky. Oh, he did hit the wall with his front nose, actually. Lucky not to lose his front wing. I think De Vries was just an innocent party there. There was not much that could be done. Parker was rejoining. And Heasterbeek, the ever so plucky squirrel, he knew where his nuts were and he took them.
Well, we've had baseball bats and the bees, and I think that one just beat it.
Thank you.
That's a good one there. And yeah, you know what? De Vries is not happy because Parker blocked him. I know he was coming back onto the track.
It's a rejoin, and he was battling with Heasterbeek. I'm not sure what could have been done, to be honest. But mind you, De Vries wasn't happy with Parker in Australia, because if you remember, Parker supposedly locked De Vries into the wall, do you remember, before the fast left-right-hander at Australia? So, to De Vries, this is going to be the second time that he's been blocked by Parker.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think he's going to be thinking about that. When that incident happened, you just saw him. He was literally pushing Parker all the way through 2 and 3. And I thought Parker was going to lose it. I thought he was going to spin. He was being pushed so hard.
I tell you what, I'm worried about Parker's brakes, because I looked at that incident. He veered off to the left. And it was purely under braking. He didn't even touch the curb. Either way, he's looking for a move back through on Heasterbeek. Look how much Tom Vandervoort leads by now, though. 10.1 seconds. He's got this in the bag unless he spins. Heasterbeek holds on to P2 nicely, though. Parker around the outside, sticking it up into turn 2. He's a bit put out of sync there, and Sven De Vries, Oh, he's boxed in, isn't he? Look, there's Heasterbeek trying to defend his position. Sven de Vries up alongside Tom Parker. He breaks. He goes along the outside of Parker.
Oh,
he's
off.
forced off the road. And he's... Oh, it's getting feisty.
I want to
De
look at
Vries,
that.
I'm not sure. I want to have a look back at that. Hold on.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
am.
to have a look back, because if there was contact between Parker and De Vries, fair enough.
He was going to be on the rumble strip and potentially on the sleeping policeman as well, so he kind of had to do it there, De Vries,
Yeah.
I'm feeling. I'm thinking he had to do it.
That's a tough one. I can see why Parker would say that's an illegal overtake, but you're absolutely right. The way Parker was forcing off the road, it was very Rosberg-Hamilton-ish from last year. The difference is we have anti-cuts there. And we saw what happened to Heasterbeek when... Mike, do you remember? Heasterbeek was launched over the anti-cuts as well.
It's certainly not affected him, has it?
Not affected him at all, no. But yeah, Tom Parker looks a little bit unsettled by all this. So Heasterbeek coming to second. De Vries into third, and still hounding the back of Heasterbeek, to be fair. Parker off the podium now in fourth. Muscat fifth. Casella sixth. Siggy seventh. Cullen eighth. Frančić still battling away with Jonathan Holmes for P9 and 10. Capit 11th. Klont 12th. Hammer 13th. Jordan 14th. And Christoph Schur now into P15. Look at David Junt there, down in P16. A bit of a disappointing race for the Swiss, to be honest. We've only had 3 retirements now, I should say. Melin, Rauter and Richards joined them on lap 22 of 33.
Oh my god. Wow, unbelievable. Hammer just piles into the back of Jordan. He's off the track. Hammer, I don't know. I think he's got a problem. He's coming to the pits. He definitely broke something there. He just
Sorry,
flew
back
into
to the podium. Sorry, back to the podium. De Vries around the outside of Heasterbeek. Side by side they go, and Sven de Vries ever so close, but his wings are holding him back still. Will he go for a stab up into turn 4? Oh, ever so close. Heasterbeek is not losing. De Vries and Parker though. And look at Parker. Any mistake that De Vries makes, Parker will be onto it, won't he?
Yeah, I bet he's going to be fired up as well.
Sorry, I was 20 seconds back, wasn't I? Yes, I was looking at an earlier move. Don't worry. Just ignore me. I'm back at life now.
I was wondering that. I was thinking, I've only just missed the action. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Parker is going to be... Well, I think he's going to feel like he deserves the podium right now as well, because he's going to be looking at that De Vries off-track excursion. So I think we've got a couple of really fired-up drivers here, and Heasterbeek's probably got the coolest head out of the 3. So he's going to be the one that's going to have to defend as once again we start the Caterpillar. And look at Muscat. He is starting to reel them in. He's only a second behind Parker now. Let's not rule Muscat out this battle at all.
Hammer all the way down to P23, by the way, so he had to pit, and he's fallen behind Morten Wernersen now. Remember, had that awful pre-formation lap off with Mark Fuller. He's now having to P22. Looks like the prime option compound, no matter who was doing it, didn't work. The strategy you wanted to be on was option prime, as is evident by the front lock. But look at Van der Voort, 10.7 seconds ahead of Ruud Heasterbeek. Good for Tom Van der Voort, considering their relationship last year. B, what an emphatic way to potentially win your first race of the year. We're on lap 29 to 33 here, not long to go now.
Yeah, and he's still pumping in the lap times. He's in the mid-36s, and I can't see anyone in the field that's doing that kind of lap time at the moment, on the prime compounds at least, which are the slow of the 2 tyres around this track. So Tom Van der Voort, God, I don't want to jinx anything, but he's done such a good job so far. He deserves this victory by far, because he's just, I'd say 2 tenths faster than anyone else in the field right now around this track. So great job by Tom today.
As well.
It is indeed, considering the lack of corners, as I was talking about earlier. The lack of corners mean that there isn't as many opportunities to gain or lose the time.
Looking back here to P6, and I think Kevin Siggy is reeling Emmanuel Gachella in. And considering how aggressive these 2 drivers are, considering that they are the 2 drivers who picked up penalties throughout the Australia racing event, I think any racing between these 2 is going to be very feisty. I mean, look how much Siggy's closing in. I'm sure there's going to be an attempt to overtake soon.
Yeah, you'd think so from Siggy. He's going to be fired up. I'm just looking what's going on with De Vries. He's coming down the straight and he just starts weaving the car. I was just watching a replay there. He was weaving the car down the pit straight. I don't know if he's still angry about something. I don't know if he's angry at Easterbeek. I've got no idea what he's got to be angry about with Easterbeek, but yeah, De Vries really fired up at the moment.
I think the positive thing for De Vries is he is losing Parker now. They're both losing Parker. He seems to have fallen off a bit. And actually, looking at this, Ruud Easterbeek has actually made up time on Van der Voort, albeit by 2/10, but he has made up time. I mean, he's far too little too late now. And it looks like De Vries is really starting to put his foot down. He's really trying to hound Easterbeek now. He's looking out to the inside of turn 11, as you can see, and I imagine that if we don't see a little stab from De Vries before the end of the race, then it'll be a bit of an opportunity missed. But looking interesting between those two, as Siggy is past Gashela at turn 11. So Siggy up into P6, Gashela P7, and also looking down. Yes, good shout from Ed Hackerson. Very interesting battle for P15 going on here, Sam. Adrian McNaughton up into P15, but he's got Luis Mesa and David Junt in very close pursuit.
Yeah, this is a big freeway battle here, perhaps the biggest one on track, and McNaughton just lights up the rear tyres. And he's going to struggle now, going to have to defend down the straight. Junt and Mesa right behind him, but they're all going to stay line astern. So, calm and composed at the moment between 15th, 16th and 17th. Not quite as important as you'd say, like a battle in Formula Challenge for these positions. Mesa looks up the inside of Junt and makes the position his own. Wow. Pretty much, move. Yeah, good move there. Great move. Opportunistic and fairly clean.
Right, I think we've got to go back to P6 and P7 here, because Siggy's defending off Gashela now into turn 4. Not wanting to give up this one. Oh, lovely cutback. Oh, the grip, the traction, it was all there for the Romanian. He is back into P6, and it's lap 31 to 33. These moves count now. They really do.
Yes, certainly do. They really do. Gexela, I think he's had a great race today, considering the struggles in Australia. Siggy looks back up the inside. He tries to cut back of his own. Doesn't quite pull off. And look at this. Philip Cullen, out of nowhere, is actually on the back of this duo right now.
Goodness me, look at Siggy right outside! Oh, yes, please, mother, give me more of that. What a move from Kevin Siggy. That was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Like, jeez, that's, you know, you can have a go at him for his racecraft all you like. That is one of the best moves I've seen in my sim racing commentary career so far.
It's scary, especially if you were in the cockpit of Gexela right then, and basically have your nose chopped off from the the positive sim racing driver, who's now having to defend, hugging the inside wall, going towards turn 1. Gexela's up the outside, gets his nose ahead, just holds on to Siggy, but he's got a bad awkward line going to 2 now. He's going to lose a bit of momentum.
Look at Cullen.
Yeah, he's got the best line out of them all. And look at that, Siggy goes ultra defensive. Gexela's now looking to the outside. Cullen is just waiting.
Oh, Gashela around the outside.
He's done it.
Wow.
And Cullen.
I think it's Cullen as well. Oh, wonderful racing from these three. And Siggy, after that excellent move, banished down to P8. This is epic. I was worried about what was going to happen to Siggy down the inside of Cullen. Oh, it was a dive, but it didn't come off. I was worried about the racing between these
Parker's
two.
Gone wide.
Oh, yeah, Parker has gone wide, and oh, he was saved by Muscat lighting up the tyres, but you know what? Forget the battle for the podium. P6 to P8 is where it's at. Excellent racing between these three.
And I can't see it being over yet, because Siggy was all over the back of Gexela, and now he's down in 8th place. So he's going to surely come back, and Cullen, the guy comes out of nowhere, just slowly makes his way up the field, and really
comes down to P6.
He's done it.
Wow, what a great move from Philip Cullen. Really the star of the field once again in race 1. It's race 2 where he's got to worry though, as we now head into turn 14. Gashela pulls out of the slipstream as we head into turn 14 and turn 15. As I see Jason Muscat heading past Tom Parker. I think it was a good exit from Muscat, poor exit from Parker, though Parker looking up the inside once again into turn 1. No, he brakes early. So Muscat takes P4. I think Parker very unsettled. His brakes have deserted him. As they're still battling into turn 1. As Gashela goes up the inside, Parker, and there is a bit of contact between Cullen and Gashela. Thankfully, all still in one piece as Gashela goes up the inside. It's going 3 wide into turn 4. Gashella up the inside, Cullen around the outside. Oh, well defended from the Irishman. And it is the last lap, so this is all for position. And remember, we do have the reverse grid number at the end of this race. So the higher up the order you are, the more chance you have of being in the top positions for race 2.
Oh, De Vries, you know, he's still going after Heasterbeek, but he just lit up the rear tyres coming out of turn 8, and that might have cost him any chance of picking up second position here. He might have to settle for third, but he's still not too far away. It's only about 2 or 3 tenths of a
Parker's gone
second.
off the road again. Sorry, Parker's gone off the road again. He's under pressure from Cullen now. Into turn 11. Oh,
He's gone again.
He's gone again. I think his brakes have gone.
Yeah.
Surely, he's passed by all 3 of those drivers. But let's go to Tom van der Voort now. Coming around the final corner, it's been a dominant showing from van der Voort, and he wins his first race of the year by a huge margin for Simcraft Racing. Excellent stuff from him. Now coming around the final corner, oh, De Vries, he's right on the gearbox of Heasterbeek, but he lit up the rear tyres, so Heasterbeek will come home second. De Vries third, Muscat will come home P4, Cullen will come home P5 as all. Parker's off again! Oh, and he's crashed into the wall!
Oh,
It's
he's just
all
couldn't get
gone
out.
pants down for Tom Parker. Gashella comes home P6,
Holmes is
Siggy
off.
P7, and oh, Parker lucky to come home P8. David Franchich P9, Jonathan Holmes P10. He rounds out the top 10 and the potential people to be on pole position. Capit comes home P11 after. Is he missing his front wing as well? Yes, he is. A lot of brakes going. Interesting. Klomp P12. Christoph Schor comes home P13. Then it's Jordan P14. But it was very close, wasn't it, between him and Adrian McNaughton, who ends up coming home P15. The retirements from this race were, there are only 3. They're Matt Richards, Marcel Rauter and Pedro Milim. But wow, what a race that was, and a well-deserved win from Tom van der Voort, your reverse grid candidates are Gashella, Siggy, Parker, Franchich and Holmes.
Yeah, once again, the Supercup continues to deliver in terms of spectacle, excitement, and everything of the like, and that was truly impressive. One guy who did make it boring, though, was Tom van der Voort, because he walked it. He absolutely walked it. As soon as he got into the lead, it took him time to get past De Vries. He did drop back a little bit at the beginning, but once he got into the lead, there was no looking back for Tom, and he held on to the lead and just kept a good distance away from the rest of the field. He got it set up right because his brakes clearly didn't go as well, unlike his teammate, unfortunately. So Tom van der Voort, great race for you, and I want to make you my driver of race 1, but I also want to make Philip Cullen my driver of race 1 as well, because that
P5
is
again.
from 16th on the grid as well. 16th on the grid, that's 11 places. I know you can overtake, but to move up that many positions, considering, you know, it's so competitive in Super Cup, shows incredible quality from Cullen. He kept a level head, he kept it clean throughout the entire race, and it just makes you think, you know, if this guy could qualify a little bit better up the field, who knows what he could be capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd also like to give a shout out to Gashella and Siggy as well. Wow, what? That was a fantastic battle. Absolutely fantastic battle from them and Cullen. So all 3 of those, I think I agree with you. Tom van der Voort should definitely be given driver of race 1 for sure. Cullen, though, P16 to P5, what an excellent job. So it's going to be Chris Williamson, the first time ever on reverse grid number duty. So to remind you, your reverse grid potential candidates are Gashella, Siggy, Parker, Franchich and Holmes. Can we perhaps talk about our disappointment of the race? Looking throughout, I think David Junt.
Yeah.
Where did he go?
Backwards, apparently.
Yeah.
he never really broke into the top 10 positions, really. He had the moment where he was battling away with his teammate Franchich, and look at that, Franchich finished 29 seconds off the lead and Junt finished 57, so it's nearly double. Well, it pretty much is double between the leader Franchich and Junt, so definitely some work to do there for Junt. Also
Capit as well.
Yeah, Capit, absolutely. He spun off, made another mistake for Walk Racing. Did make a mistake early on, but he recovered from it and picked up a good second position. So, yeah, it's a first podium for Walk. So, congratulations to Walk Racing for their first Supercup podium and first points on the board for the season as well. So, that's a great way to get your first points. And
25 in total, isn't it?
yep, absolutely. It's the first race that really matters in terms of the points. And one other guy I'd just like to point out was Matt Richards. Had a good start to the race, but unfortunately he retired. I don't know why, but he didn't finish the race.
Yeah, 21st to 9th in the space of 3 corners. That was better than my start from yesterday.
Still doesn't beat my Australia start, but
Oh yeah, what happened with you in your Australia start?
36th to 21st by turn 1.
Master driver. Right, the reverse grid number is 7, relatively low, and that means that our front row, Sam, is Emmanuel Gashella and Kevin Siggy on pole position.
Fireworks for the start then, that's going to be
Oh,
impressive,
yeah.
isn't it? And also, big point about that is Tom Parker misses out.
Yeah,
Tom Parker's
just.
going to have to start out down next to his teammate.
Well, and it did. I mean, Parker was saying it was definitely brake failure. And that is something that happens around Bahrain, as you say. There's a lot of hairpins here, a lot of really heavy braking zones. And if you don't have the correct brake setup to be able to deal with those heavy pressures, that happens. I think we won't see the same in race 2, since race 2 is 19 laps and race 1 was 33 laps. But you need to be prepared for these things, and that's why the race runs in practice are so important.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually really surprised that Tom Parker had brake failure there, to be honest with you. I don't know if he... No, if he loaded a qualifying setup, it would have been way worse than that. So, I don't know what happened, whether he just lacked a bit of practice going into this race and didn't do a race simulation. Perhaps he just went with what his teammate was doing, and maybe he just needs a little bit more air into his brakes, might be a bit more aggressive. But that is a bit of a shame for Tom Parker, and it continues to be a tough start to the season for him, I'd say. He's shown that he's got the pace and he's got the ability. He just can't quite seem to get all the results together at the moment. He hasn't even had a top 5, looking at it.
Right, let's look to the hashtag, shall we? Hashtag Gpvwc Supercup. Florian Gaia, sorry, I don't check Twitter during the race, so he's been providing us with all these lovely updates, and I haven't seen them. Thank you for the updates anyway. Go and follow Florian Gaia. And Walk Racing, nervous, their tweet was, and well, I think they're going to be happy at least with points on the board. 25 is a nice solid start for you. Easterbeek looking strong. Where is the communication, though? Where was the communication on the pit stop? If you're interested in posting your thoughts, make sure to hashtag Gpvwc Supercup or at Kirky Life, whichever one. I see all anyway. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this front row. Gashella Siggy I was worried for them two coming into combat with each other, and yet the racing we had from them was incredible. You just hope that turn 1 syndrome doesn't appear and we find both of them going off the road.
Yep, I know exactly what it's like to get reverse grid and then completely mess it up. A great example of that is Hungary last year, of the huge crash in race 2. A lot of people might remember. Yeah, I think there's going to be nerves for both Gexella and Siggy. I'd just like to point out that Gexella has probably had the best race I've seen him have in quite a while. He's got the talent, but he's struggled to get a result really quite recently over the course of last year and this year. But it's been a good result for him today. I think that's really a bit of a boost for him, and I'm just hoping that he can at least have a clean race and get maybe another good result in the points in race 2 as well. And Siggy, well, who knows what he can do. He was should have been pole sitter in race 1, apart from a penalty. So he's got the pace, and he showed some of it during that race 1. He really lit up the timesheets at times. So if he can get a good start, and if he can get into the lead, he could be on for a win.
Another dynamic that we have to consider going into race 2, we're about 50 seconds away from it now. What tyre do you go with? Because it seems it's a bit marginal for some people.
I don't know whether people haven't gone out, but it looks like a lot of people have gone for option in warm-up so far. but there's a few guys on primes as well, so it's not exactly cut and dry between the two, but I'd say option is probably edging it at the moment in terms of the preferred tyre choice throughout the field. So I'd always be tempted to go on the softer of the two compounds, the faster of the two compounds. What percentage is race 2 of race 1?
I shall find out for you with quick maths James and his trusty calculator.
60%?
Show off. Show off Ben Hackerson with the numbers.
Knows more than the commentators.
Yeah. Right, 33 divided by... Is that 9? No, that's wrong, isn't it? 19... Oh. Let's go 33 divided by 100, right? Times 10, 3.3. So 19 divided by 3.3. About 57%, 60%.
Most drivers pitted in race 1
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
runners to come in at about the halfway stage of the race. They both went either side of the halfway of the race, and then most drivers pitted in after that. So I don't see an issue with options then, because most people were able to do all of their running up to about that high 50-60% mark, and people like C proved that you could still be setting personal bests even at that point in time. So yeah, a lot of guys are going for option. Not Tom van der Voort.
Well, he had a problem in Australia, didn't he?
I did.
Rob Mason also on primes, Matt Richards on primes, Malim on primes.
But not many.
Not many,
say
no.
Prime is not the one to go for here, and I think Tom could struggle.
Is Siggy the guy to go for? He didn't. Siggy? Oh yeah, of course. So yeah, Siggy. He got pole position. He got pushed back. He's on pole position once again. What can he do from the position that he could have started in race 1? We'll wait and see. Emmanuel Gachello is sure to keep him company in P2. Philip Cullen, P3. Wonder what the Irishman can do. Jason Muscat, P4. Sven de Vries, P5. Ruud Hiesebeek, P6, followed by the two Simcrafts of Van der Voort and Parker. David Franchich, P9. And Jonathan Holmes rounds out the top 10. We then have Risto Capit, followed by Menno Klont, Christoph Schor, Dennis Jordan, Adrian McNaughton, Luis Mesa. Can he do another sort of drive he had in race 2 Australia? Dowie Tapper, David Junt, Roy Verzile, and rounding out the top 20 is Terence Grech. And then Morten Wernersen, Balint Hammer, Danny Asbury, Rob Mason, as we say on the prime tyres, along with Van der Voort, Mark Fuller, Christoph Lichtenstein, Matt Richards also on the prime tyre, Marcel Rauter, Pedro Malim also on the prime tyre, and we do have our full grid of 30 drivers as Calvin Hermsey has managed to rejoin. He starts on the option tyre for ST Racing. So interesting to see. I mean, Pedro Malim is pretty, he's a solid point scorer. So it'll be interesting to see how he does starting on that compound. Maybe he's just trying to stay out of trouble, I don't know. But it's going to be even more interesting to see how sort of restricted Van der Voort is in this pace, because from all I've heard, the prime tyre is not the tyre you want to be on in a field full of option tyres. We saw it with Matt Richards in race 1. He pitted early for the prime tyre and he lost so much time because of it.
Yeah. Well, Tom, he's probably he is the fastest guy in this field, that's for sure, following race 1. And Van der Voort, he will though be in the mid 36s at best. I can't see him being any quicker than that. Maybe low 36s when the fuel burns off. But the guys around him are going to be going to the low 36s and even into the high 35s. So I cannot see a way that he's going to be quick at the start and going to be able to hold his own and be able to actually take advantage of that when we come to the final few laps of the race. I just can't see it happening. I just think that Van der Voort is not going to have a good race today in race 2.
Who do you predict to be the winner, though?
That's a difficult one. That is difficult. I'm gonna go with De Vries. I think he'll dispatch the guys in front of him fairly early on and walk away. Well, not walk away with it, but hold his own and have a narrow win. But he will have a win.
I'm going for Siggy. He's got the pace to do it. He showed it in qualifying. And Ben says Parker. interesting choice. We do know he has good starts. We've got a couple of people jotting out there at the start. We have 2 lights, we have 3, 4, 5 for the second time underneath the night sky at Bahrain. We are off and away.
Poor.
And it's a poor start from quite a few drivers, especially from Manuel Gashela. Really bogged down. Siggy had a decent getaway though. Sven de Vries had a great getaway. Into turn 1. Oh, Siggy goes wide. And Sven de Vries is into the lead of this race. From Ruud Heesterbeek and Tom van der Voort in third. It's the podium of race 1.
Oh, there's a huge crash.
Huge crash back there. Lots of drivers involved. Lots of them involved. But Ruud Heesterbeek diving through on Sven de Vries. Oh, it's ever so close, but de Vries holds on. It is the podium from race 1 in effect. They've all risen to the front once again. Siggy, despite going wide at turn 1, he's in P4. Parker P5 is all. Van der Voort looking on the outside of Heesterbeek for P6. Not getting it though. Gashela P6, Muscat P7, Holmes P8, McNaughton P9, Dowie Tupper up to P10. Great start from him. Yunt 11th, Clont 12th, Hammer 13th, Jordan 14th, and Asbury in 15th as we head through into the back straight here.
Yeah, is that Frančić without a front wing? I don't know if you said that, but he's running around, yeah, without a front wing.
Yeah, right Cullen as well. Oh, Cullen involved. That's a real shame for him. Real shame indeed as we head round turn 12 with the leaders now. The 3 Slees from Heesterbeek, from Van der Voort. Van der Voort, surprisingly, holding his own on the prime tyre. Doing very well to stay in the slipstream. Siggy 4th, Gashela 6th, and once again, it seems like there's a nice long train and then a gap back to Holmes. It's the same as race 1 really. As we head round the final corner now, it is de Vries who leads once again, but for how long is the question? He leads on lap 1 from Heesterbeek and Van der Voort, though how long is this going to last? Heesterbeek right onto the back, they're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. De Vries breaks later once again though. Heesterbeek tries to get the cut back, he can't do it though, and de Vries, oh, we saw him fall back in race 1. Is it going to be the case once again in race 2? Oh, I'm not too sure. Heesterbeek on the outside. Over de Vries now heading into turn 4. Watch out for Van der Voort. A bit of a slip under braking from de Vries. Can Heesterbeek get him around the outside? No, he can't. De Vries is a wily fox and he knows how to defend.
Yeah, de Vries, it's a repeat of race 1, isn't it? De Vries is having to defend, and he's having to defend from both Heesterbeek and Van der Voort. The only guy that was there in race 1 that isn't there right now is Tom Parker, but he's not far away. We have got a train of cars once again, and it looks like this could really shape up to be quite a battle. I'm surprised that Van der Voort is holding it with these guys. It seems de Vries at the start of the race is just doesn't seem to have the pace. I don't know whether he's so light on the tyres. As Van der Voort looking to the inside of Heesterbeek, it's incredible. Siggy. Yeah.
Here comes Siggy. He's right with these top 4 now. He's found his pace once again. And round turn 13 we go. Oh, does Siggy have a little dive on Van der Voort? I think Van der Voort starting to struggle now a little bit. I know he's keeping with the pace of the front guys, but I think that is simply because de Vries is a little bit slow.
Yeah, hugely so. This is really going to be quite important now, seeing these lap times come in, to see what the leaders are doing as all people are bouncing over the rumble strips as we come across the start finish line. Look at it. Back to front, nose to tail, all the way down. Heesterbeek goes to the inside to defend early. De Vries does. Heesterbeek around the outside. Oh, there's contact a little bit between the two. Heesterbeek.
Oh, he's got him!
He has. Oh, de Vries nearly loses it. Wow.
Here comes Van der Voort. Van der Voort at the inside of de Vries. He has him. He has him as always. Is that a Street Fighter into the distance? I couldn't quite see. Either way, Heesterbeek leads, crucially. It's all about who's second, and I think Sven de Vries has just got it. Watch out for Kevin Siggy, though. He is there in the background as well and looking very pacey. Gashela holding with these guys. Parker holding with these guys. Muscat again a bit separated. Holmes again a bit separated. As Gashela trying to... was that Parker going through on Gashela? Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Dived up the inside of Gashela, got the move done. Moves back up into 5th because he did drop down a position and hits the back of Siggy. Then Gagzella hits the back of Parker, and that gives Muscat a good run onto the back of Gagzella now, coming down the back straight. No, he's just going to slot back in his seat. No, he's looking to the inside. He's going to... Oh, wow.
Muscat.
I don't know what to say about that. He went to the apex, came off the apex, and nearly collected Gagzella. So lucky that both drivers got away with that one there.
I think Van der Voort struggling a bit now. There is a clear gap opening between de Vries and Van der Voort, and this in part is thanks to Kevin Siggy hounding the back of Van der Voort as we head through turn 14 and 15. You can see how much faster Siggy wants to take that corner. Just can't take it that fast because Van der Voort ahead of him is so slow. Heading on to the home straight once again, onto lap 4 of 19. Easterbeek leads from De Vries. And Siggy looks to be under pressure from Tom Parker now. Also behind, I see Muscat pressuring Gashela as all. Parker up the inside of Siggy. Doesn't get it done though. Siggy stays ahead as all. Muscat trying to get Emmanuel Gashela there. And
Van der Voort's gone wide.
Oh, dearie me, what happened to him there? Did he just lose it?
Wait, he's going slow, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he just got hooked onto the rumble strips. And off he got spattered. Oh, coming out just ahead of Jonathan Holmes. A bit of a dangerous rejoin there. As McNaughton almost rear-ending Holmes as well. Don't want people rejoining in this sort of situation. But yeah, Van der Voort. He's struggling a bit now, isn't he?
Yeah, those tyres, now that everyone else has got their tyres up to temperature and starting to quicken up in terms of pace and drop into the... well, actually, they're still in the 37s at the moment. That's incredible. I thought they'd be quicker than that. But yeah, Van der Voort is starting to struggle a little bit. He wouldn't be battling the likes of Holmes and Muscat. What is he doing?
Word.
Oh, he's hit Muscat.
That's
he's
silly.
off. He's
Silly.
spun.
Once again, problems for Simcraft drivers. And Van der Voort, where does he rejoin? All the way down in P15. He was lucky there was such a big gap from Christoph Schur to Roy Verzeil, who's battling away with Luis Mesa. And yeah, once again, Simcraft drivers. All mistakes and they're off the road. So what does this mean? This means that... Oh, wow, okay. So Holmes is up into P6. McNaughton up into P7. Muscat down to P8 because Van der Voort tried to dive through on him. Davidjan up into P9. Hammer up into P10. Capit 11th. Jordan 12th. Clont 13th. As Holmes gets overtaken by McNaughton.
Parker's round.
He's
been hit by Gechella.
My word. Wow, that was close. Oh, that's dangerous. Goodness me, Holmes and McNaughton lucky to escape that situation. Did Gashela spin Parker or?
No, Parker went round by himself, just locked his brakes, trying to overtake Siggy and completely messed it up and got in the way of his own teammate. And Holmes drew him into battle.
Lovely. And is Gashela slowing?
Yeah,
I think Gashela is a puncture maybe, or?
It was something because he did hit Parker right dead on his nose. I'm surprised he didn't lose his front wing, but I think something else has gone wrong with his car.
Oh, what a shame for Gashela.
He's got no pace at all, has he? He's getting past left, right and centre.
That's a real shame. Yeah, it's just one of those instances, I'm looking back at it now, where you can do absolutely nothing. Something happens ahead of you and then race ended. And it's not like his race has ended. He's still there. He's still in P10, but...
Look at Parker as well. Look at Parker. He's down in 18th and he's dropping like a stone.
Dennis Jordan hits the back of Gashela. That car is damaged and Jordan's been caught out because of it as well. It's all a dominant effect now, and Van der Voort has benefited somewhat. He's having to P14, but oh dear, not gone well at all. Shall we look at people who are going well? Back up to the front with Easterbeek and De Vries. These guys are just running away now. 3:10 separate the two of them, but really not much else going on. Kevin Siggy's on a world of his own in P3 there. So if anything goes wrong between De Vries and Easterbeek, he's quidded in. And then we've got Holmes and McNaughton battling for P4 and 5, but it's all very split out otherwise.
Yeah, look at that. Holmes having to really defend from McNaughton. McNaughton's having an incredible race here for McNaughton. He's gone around the outside of Holmes. He's going to get the inside for 2. Can he hold on to it? Oh, he's going to have a bit of momentum loss going through 3. And Holmes is going to have the outside. No, he's slotted back in behind McNaughton. Going to look to the outside, going up to 4. Can McNaughton hold on to it? Holmes late breaking around the outside.
That's the second time he's done that.
Yeah, he has done it, hasn't he?
Yep.
Great job by Holmes. Great racecraft.
And as you say, if he gets better as the race goes on, they can only hope for good things. But look at this, Junt and Muscat now really starting. Junt!
Yeah, where did he come from?
He was... Great race from Junt so far.
And
race 2's are his forte, of course.
And you know what else? Risto Capit. Oh, it's just been rear-ended by Hammer. He literally mounted the back of Capit's car going into 8. That's incredible. I've never seen that before.
How did he not lose his rear wing?
How did he not spin? But Risto Capit is in 8th, right? And he was the guy that caused the carnage into turn 3, where he just got on the rumble strip on the outside, spun the car across the track, went 90 degrees, but got hit, and it actually spun the car back in the right direction. And Capit has made the most of it and made his way back up into 8th place. Tom
Parker becomes our first retirement from race 2, unfortunately. A real shame For him there, too much damage on his car, pretty evident. But hey, look at De Vries here. Look at De Vries. He's looking for a move on Heasterbeek into turn 1. We know his brakes are good. He decides to back out of it for now, but he's not leaving the rear end of Heasterbeek, is he? And it's
No.
only lap 7 and 19.
It's race 1 all over again, but this time it's for the big top position, and Walk Racing are going for their first ever win in Supercup. This is quite big. This is. I think what did Walk say? They had nerves going
They were nervous,
into race
yeah.
1. Yep, they're going to be more nervous now because a win is worth a lot more.
Worth 25 points is what it's worth, and that will launch them up into the definitely the top 5, I'm sure of it, of the team championship in Super Cup.
Yeah, and with Capit in, he's dropped back down to 9th now, but Capit can pick up a couple of points as well.
Very exciting stuff for Walk Racing, and I'm just looking back to Tom van der Voort now. He's up into P11, so he is working his way back through the field, even on the prime tyres. But Simcraft, once again, there's so much potential, and now it's all fallen to pieces once again. They'll be not happy with 5 points. Squirming under braking was van der Voort. I'm sure that car is damaged.
It must be. He did take a bit of a bump with Muscat, who's also in 7th place and probably suffering from a little bit of damage. So Van der Voort is still not looking comfortable on these tyres. Let's have a look. He's doing it low 37s, and Heasterbeek is doing mid 36s. So yeah, about half a second off the pace, as I predicted. So that's right so far. So
P1 again, sorry, is De Vries goes back. I'm looking to P4 though. Adrian McNaughton has just blasted past Holmes on the front straight. Holmes looking to defend the position though. He goes in very narrow into turn 1. McNaughton has to take the wide line. Holmes around the outside. He's forced off track by McNaughton. He comes back on ahead. Not sure what to make of that really. But what it has done is it has brought Yunt and Muscat back into position. McNaughton around the outside of Holmes. That's a good move from the Englishman. No, Holmes is on the inside of 5 and 6. Holmes surviving for dear life here, but he's struggling once again and being caught up in battle. As I say, it brings Muscat and it brings Yunt into play, and look at Hammer there as well. He's not too far behind.
yeah, Hammer's certainly starting to catch up with these guys. He's done well considering the struggles that he had in race 1, Hammer, so he's looking a lot better so far in this race. Still a few moments of contact, but he's up there in 8th, and he's up there with the likes of Muscat, so that's nothing to be sniffed at, certainly. But Holmes, once again, he's like a slower version of De Vries, isn't he? He's having to spend a lot of his time defending. Admittedly, De Vries isn't doing that now, but it's another case of looking in the rear view mirrors for at least 50% of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking back to the front now, De Vries once again hooked up in the slipstream of Ruud Heasterbeek. Does he have the straight line speed to be able to do anything though? Let's see, he goes to the outside of turn 1.
Why the outside?
Maybe he finds more grip, I don't know. Either way, he stays behind. Looking to
could've-
Jonathan Holmes now. Jonathan Holmes seems to have actually had a good exit out of turn 14 and 15. He leads this little gag, and look how close they all are as well. You don't want 4 cars in your rearview mirror, let alone 4 very close cars.
Yeah, and Muscat and Yunt side by side again into turn 4, and Yunt takes the position back off Muscat, so those two trading positions, but not really going anywhere with it, because they've still got McNaughton and Holmes right ahead of them.
Holmes really needs to try and put a gap on these guys while they're all battling, to be honest. As Muscat goes red dive on Yunt, and it's all very brushing side by side, London street walking at the moment. And as I say, Holmes has got to take advantage of this. He needs to string together a good set of laps, otherwise he's going to get dragged back into this, and he's going to be dragged down the order yet again.
Yeah, he's got absolutely no consistency at all as Holmes. He's just switching around between 37s, 38s, even 39s on one lap. So just needs to find the rhythm. That's it. He needs to find the rhythm. That's what he's got to find. And he doesn't have it at the moment. As once again, looking at the leaders, Heasterbeek is only 0.2 of a second ahead of De Vries. Now, this time, will De Vries go to the inside? Because he could have gone to the inside into turn 1 last lap, but didn't do it. He's looking now. Heasterbeek's not even defending. He's not even bothering. He doesn't think that De Vries is a threat.
And he's not a threat, is he? Not with those wings.
No.
I'm interested about what's happening with Siggy as well. Because Siggy's just, he's driving along nice and content in P3. Is he happy to stay there? Or, I don't know, he's just in no man's land, really.
It'd be a great result for him, and it'd be a great result for Positive to get on the podium, but Siggy, he could win this race, If De Vries actually just become a threat to his to be more than just sitting on his rear wing and poking his nose up the inside every so often, Siggy's just going to reel them in because they're automatically going to go slow. It's the rules of racing, really, and Siggy could be there, but that really has to happen for Siggy, and he's got the ability to win the race today, that's for sure.
Look at this now. David Junt's found his way up into P5. Great job from the Swiss, by the way, so far. Look at this. He's got Muscat, McNaughton, Hammer, Capit now onto the back of this, and Holmes is doing what we were asking of him. He is pulling away now. He is starting to find some rhythm in his tyres, and David Junt is really... He has become the corkscrew in this bottle of wine here. Just got to hope that it's not fizzy wine, because otherwise there's going to be fireworks.
Yeah. Not champagne, though. We're not having champagne. We're stuck to fizzy wine. We don't have the money for champagne, I'm guessing.
Nah.
It's low budgets here at Gpvwc.
Oh dear, and did Young get caught on the curb there? I think he did. We'll have a look, see whether Muscat can find his way back. But look at McNaughton there. McNaughton was threatening Holmes for P4, and he's just been caught back in this battle now, and he's all the way back in P7 as Muscat looks to the outside of Junt. Junt goes in very nicely though, a lovely racing line from Junt, and Muscat, he can't do anything through turn 2. He's got a nice run though, mind you. And Junt going ultra defensive. Can Muscat take him on the outside of turn 4? We've seen plenty of moves like this so far in the race. No, Junt defends very well, and Norton caught off despite his face, and Hammer's going to have that position for dinner.
Yeah, I think McNaughton just caught the curb there and nearly lost it, lost all his momentum. And Hammer was lucky not to go flying into the back of McNaughton. I can't believe this between Junt and Muscat. They were battling each other when they were stuck behind Holmes and McNaughton. And now they're really starting to battle again. And Holmes is actually pulling away from them, isn't he?
He is, yeah. We've had our second retirement of the day, Luis Mesa. Such a great impact in Australia. Hasn't carried over to Bahrain, unfortunately. No points scored for the Spaniards. But there are certainly going to be some good points on the board for Walk Racing if things remain as they are. Lap 11 and 19, soon to be lap 12 and 19. And Ruud Heesterbeek, over the last lap or so, has pulled a little bit of a gap to De Vries. It's only a little bit, but he seems just... He has a cork, or he has a little stopper on it, hasn't he? He knows he's got a handle on De Vries, simply because of the wing difference.
Yeah, and I think that's why he doesn't see a threat. He's not defending at all. He's not even pulling out the racing line, and I can't believe this. I thought De Vries would have changed something between race 1 and 2 because it clearly didn't work for him in race 1.
Let's get through on Junt, and he's got him. Into turn 1 he goes. And also, just a little shout out to Risto Capit, up into P8 now. So this is going to be an excellent point score from Walk Racing if it continues as it is. Ahead though, sorry, back to Muscat and Junt. Into turn 4, Muscat has held on just about. And the Maltese driver has got to try and pull away just as Holmes did a couple of laps earlier.
Don't know what happened to Hammer because he was up to 7th in the last lap and now he's dropped back again. But Muscat again, defending from Junt. It's a great battle that they're having. I can't believe that Junt finished in the lower half of the team.
16th,
in the last,
it?
yeah,
Or 18th?
18th I think it might have been. And now he's battling with a guy, and they're clearly equal on pace of a guy that's finished in the top 5, was it, in race 1? So strange one by Junt, but he's there now, and he's got the pace. He just needs to, have it for the entire race weekend. Well, weekend if you want to call it, even though it's midweek.
An evening. It's a race evening.
Race evening. We'll go with that.
An evening of racing. Either way, I'd like to remind you, David Junt goes a bit wide there. If you want to ask any of these drivers on the podiums a question, then feel free to hashtag Gpvwc on Supercup. Sorry, hashtag Gpvwc Supercup on Twitter, and we will ask all questions to the drivers in question. Those so far being Heesterbeek, De Vries, and Siggy. And at this rate, it seems. I mean, look at that. Siggy 2 seconds off the lead. Holmes 11.1 seconds off the lead. So. I think it's pretty clear, unless one of those three makes a mistake, that is going to be the all things as Yunt dives back through on Muscat. The battle continues, and the Switz now has the upper hand once again.
Yep, and is it going to continue into turn 4? Because Muscat's going to get a run. Is Yunt going to defend this time? He starts to think about it. Muscat pulls out. Nope, stays behind. Oh, but Yunt late breaks, and Muscat dives back on the time. Oh, there's contact! Oh, McNaughton, I'm so glad you didn't go around there. He saved it. He's kept hold of 7th for the moment, but Capit is right there as well now, and I just hope that McNaughton hasn't got damage from that contact between himself and Yunt.
Yunt decided to go for a hasty fish and chips takeaway and rejoin the motorway rather dangerously, in my opinion there, and McNaughton caught out. I would not be surprised to see suspension damage on that car. And it's up to Capit now to make sure that he safely overtakes him, if he can overtake him at all, of course. Also, shout out to Tom Vandervoort, now up into 9th position, past the racecraft accident-prone Hammer, who is still doing a good job in P10, it must be said. Also, Menno Klont, inconspicuous once again down there in P11, not really making much impact at all.
No, he's about where he started on the grid, and that's where he's been really all evening today. He hasn't made or gained any positions really, and it's just a bit of a below par performance by him. I don't know whether he just didn't get any practice in earlier today, earlier over the last 2 weeks. That certainly doesn't help, but hopefully we'll see more of him in round 3.
Right, I am looking here at the gap between Holmes and Muscat, and it seems to be closing. I'm not sure whether Muscat and Yunt are now starting to work together. Muscat ahead of Yunt once again, of course, after Yunt went very wide at turn 4, which we're coming up to now.
I think Holmes might have used his tyres. He's gone from mid 36s back into the high 36s and even 37s now, so I'm wondering if he's used his tyres up, and either that or he's just making small mistakes every single lap. But yeah, he's definitely lost the pace that he did manage to find for a brief moment, and managed to pull away from the guys behind him, and really he's starting to struggle.
I did say that the racing on option tyres might be marginal for some people. Wonder if it's marginal for Holmes. He seems to have pulled out a little bit of a gap again, and what he really needs now is Yunt to be on the offensive again. And then again, Yunt could have used his own tyres, or he might be worried about the brakes.
Oh, you're his manager, you should know what his tyre wear's like.
You know, I try to stay out of what my drivers do, not only for a sense of let them get on with what they want to do, but also I'm a commentator. I like this feeling of not knowing.
Oh, and I like the feeling of being able to tell people what I know.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to have a little look back down the field to see whether there's any... I see McNaughton's still holding ahead of Capit.
I tell you what, De Vries is up the inside of Heasterbeek going into turn 1.
Oh, yeah.
Side by side, and De Vries this time has actually got a legitimate opportunity to take the lead, and he has. He's taken the lead through 3 and 4. But, through 3. Can he hold it into 4? He's going to have to defend once again. Going into 4, Heasterbeek around the outside. De Vries holds a tight line and keeps it calm, and he will hold on to the lead for the moment.
Well. The American strikes once again. Question is, can Heasterbeek respond? That's. I mean, it's interesting. The change between P1 and P2, especially here at Gpvwc, is pretty dramatic. 5 points difference between first and second is a large amount, and I'm sure that Heasterbeek, it's lap 15 and 19, there's still 3.5 laps to go pretty much. He's going to be trying everything to get those 5 points back for Walk.
He certainly is. I think it's more the win than the points for himself and Walk Race, and that's what they want to do, is to pick up their first ever win in Supercup. And he's there, he's still there, he knows he's got the wing advantage, and surely down a straight line, especially down the pit straight, he's surely going to get at least back up the outside or inside of De Vries, because there's that much of a difference between the two. But it's really whether he can hold it through turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3. A great selection of corners that really, swaps the advantage between outside and inside. And now Heasterbeek is going to look to the outside, going down the pit straight. He's already got his nose ahead actually, and wow, that's just easy.
Effortless.
Yeah.
Effortless, and he holds the line perfectly through turn 1 and turn 2 as well. Heasterbeek retakes the lead, but looking back to P4 now, I thought this gap was closing between Holmes and Muscat, and indeed it is. Muscat looking around the outside of Holmes into turn 1, and he's got him as well. Well, I think you're right. I think Holmes has used up his tyres and he's now being dragged back into this battle for P5 and P6. Can he look through on turn 4? No, he can't. And I think David Junt will be sniffing some blood here as well.
Tom Van der Voort is up into 8th, isn't he? I don't know if you
He
said
is
that.
past Capit, yeah.
He's up into 8th, so the tyres are starting to come alive with Van der Voort. He's, oh wow, unbelievable. He's done a 36-1. A 36-1 on prime compound tyres. That's incredible. The fastest lap of this race, to give you a point, is by Kevin Siggy, a 35.8
Blimey.
from Siggy. Oh no, actually, it's now Heasterbeek that's got the fast. Oh no, I've lied again. De Vries has done a 35.6, but that was the lap that he did manage to pass Heasterbeek. So I think the draft definitely helped him get that little couple of extra attempts.
I think Jan's gone slightly wide at turn 11 because he's fallen right off the back of Holmes. I think he was just caught behind him in the braking zone. So this battle is kicking off once again. Holmes has certainly not lost sight of Muscat as Matt Richards makes it a double retirement for TSA Racing. It's really not been his championship year so far as we look to P1 once again. Sven de Vries up the inside of Heasterbeek. Does he go wide? Yes, he does, but he holds the line. And Sven de Vries is back through on lap 17. Now looking to Holmes and Muscat into turn 1. Can Holmes make a pass once again around the outside? He's got his nose ahead, but he can't do anything. He goes very wide, actually. Oh, wow. Almost up the inside of turn 2, but Muscat just about holds on. But hey, Sven de Vries, he's up for it now, isn't he? And you've got to wonder, with all this battling between de Vries and Heasterbeek, is there yet an opportunity for Siggy to swipe in and get some more?
Yes, he's kind of there, kind of not, but his lap times are dropping. He seems to do a good lap, then a poor lap, and then a good lap, but the last 2 laps have been pretty poor for Siggy. I don't know whether it's a bit of mental stamina that's just, he's not quite concentrating as much as he was earlier, and perhaps struggling with the tyres as well. I don't know how aggressive he is in the tyres, but he's starting to fall back a little bit from these 2. But I think for Sven de Vries, we're going to see him get overtaken down the pit straight again. I can't see anything else happening. But I think de Vries could win this race if he can do the same thing that he's done the last couple of times that he's overtaken Heasterbeek, and overtake Heasterbeek on the very last lap of the race at the start of the lap. I think he can win it. That's going to be his opportunity to win this race.
Yeah, I agree with you. Heading on to lap 18 of 19, the penultimate lap of this race. Can Heasterbeek retake the lead? I think he's got the wings to do it. And indeed, heading into turn 1 now, he's got his nose ahead. Can he brake later than the American? No. Easy. Easy pickings. But this is the interesting thing now. On lap 18 of 19, it switched positions once over the last couple of laps, hasn't it? So
yeah, this is a hugely important lap for de Vries. He needs to be right on the back of Heasterbeek coming out the final corner at the end of this lap. If he can do that, he can win this race.
Just looking back to P4 to 6 as well, Holmes had his nose ahead of Muscat into turn 1, but he had to defend off David Junt as well, who has refound some form. He's caught back onto the back of this battle, and it's going to be anyone's guess as to what order these 3 are going to finish up the race in.
Yeah, it certainly is. I thought Muscat would get away from Holmes, but it just clearly hasn't happened. You know what? I'm going to say that Bahrain is like, it's not the same. I know it's not the same, but it's like a modern version of Monza. A lot of straights and a lot of drafting is involved. I know it's much more technical and twisty without the chicanes.
That's what you mean by modern, surely?
Yeah, it's certainly no Monza, but it's similar in the effect of the type of racing that you can get in terms of you can't really get away from someone if you're similar on pace with them, because the drafting or the slipstreaming will always help you catch back up, or help the guy behind you catch back up.
Final lap we're going on to now. This is the crucial move. Heasterbeek has not been able to overtake Sven de Vries at any part of the track except turn 1. And Sven de Vries is going to stick his nose in here at turn 1. Heasterbeek comes across. Oh, and he's held on. He's held on. De Vries is going to have to find another way through. Looking back now to Muscat v Holmes. And Holmes have a late 7 to turn 1. No, he can't. Muscat stays ahead for now. Junt filters in as Wernerson retires from the race and all. What was that?
there was a bit of contact between Heasterbeek and De Vries going into turn 4. They got side by side again. De Vries knows it. He has to make the move because that was his real opportunity.
Oh,
Look at it. He's going to
gone!
he's lost it. Oh.
Goodness me.
Oh my goodness. I thought they were going to both spin out there. I thought Siggy was going to win.
Well. That's dangerous. Dangerous from De Vries, but what you want for a win, eh? Heasterbeek is going to get away down this straight. Siggy's there. He's licking his lips. He's hoping for something to go wrong between these two as we head into turn 11 now with Heasterbeek and De Vries. Heasterbeek takes the corner nicely. De Vries has the wings to perhaps gain a little more speed. As we now head into turn 13, it's going to have to be a turn 14 stab, if anything, for De Vries. He's going to hook up the slipstream. He has got a chance. He's used his wings well. Heasterbeek, he goes to the middle of the track. Is De Vries going to take a stab? No, he isn't. Oh, he's going to try and get a better run through the corner. And he has had a better run through the corner. It's a race to the line. Heasterbeek. Oh, no, I think Heasterbeek has it. Heasterbeek just wins by pretty much a tenth from De Vries. Siggy comes home third. And we look back now. Oh, a little bit of a slide from Jonathan Holmes. But it will be Jason Muscat, who comes home P4. Holmes P5. Yunt P6, McNaughton an impressive P7, Van der Voort, despite going off the track, P8, Risto Capit P9, Hammer 10th, Klont 11th, Christoph Schur scores P12, Dennis Jordan P13, Roy Verzile P14, or will he have P14 actually? Danny Asprey for Street Fighter, he's the reserve driver. Can he get something more for his team? No, he can't. Danny Asprey, wow, that's 18 thousandths of a second behind Verzile, but a good job for Danny Asprey to score points in Supercup. Your retirements were Morten Wernerson, Matt Richards, Luis Mesa, and Tom Parker, of course. So another good race, a different race to race one, but well done to Heasterbeek. Walk Racing are well and truly back in the title race now.
Yeah, I think your disappointment, it sounded like, when they came across the line was really because De Vries couldn't quite make it a photo finish as we had in race 2 in Australia, which is unexpected and absolutely incredible. And I thought we were going to get a repeat of that there. But well done to Ruud Heasterbeek and well done to Walk to pick up their first ever win in Supercup in only their second round, 4th race of their Supercup career. So I think Walk should be very happy today. They've not only picked up a podium, but they've picked up a win as well. And they're going to be flying up the table. I think top 5 is definitely at least where they're going to be. And in Heasterbeek, they've got a really, really good driver. He's as long as he just keeps it cool under braking, he's no problem with defending. It just seems to be, perhaps when he's attacking, he looks like he's a little bit ragged occasionally. But they've got a good driver there in Heasterbeek, and I think he can keep going like this. I think he really can. I think we're going to see more wins from him this season. He gets absolutely destroyed there by another car.
So what was that? It was a P2 in race 1 and a P1 in race 2. That's some very good form. But anyway, we have some interviews now.
Thanks.
And we are going to start then with race 1 winner, Tom Van der Voort. Now, we both had you down as race winner from the get-go, and you put on a dominant performance in race 1. It must be great to get the duck off your back and show, look, I'm absolutely here to win races and put Simcraft on the map once again this year.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, to be honest, I thought I wasn't going to do too well this race, so I was aiming for a podium, and then I got, well, essentially second place on the grid because Kevin beat me, and then just from start to finish in the lead of the race and just taking it with a 10-second gap. I mean, I didn't think I would be able to do that when I started this evening, so I'm really, really happy with that.
A little bit more of a difficult race 2, though. We saw you flying off the track, of course, rejoining far down the order. But to come back to P8 and on the prime tyres as well, I mean, it must be really positive to know that you got that much pace in the locker, and especially going forward to Spain. A little bit more of a technical track than Bahrain, to know that you can definitely mix it with the top guys and come back from poor positions. You know, lots of positives to take forward for you lot.
Yeah, seriously, and well, to be honest, I was going quite well in race 2, but a loss of traction in the second corner sent me off track, and I fell back to 5th. and I wanted to try and overtake on Jason Muscat into a certain corner, which had a bump, which I didn't know was there, and I locked the brakes, and I just shot straight forward, and I hit him, which I'm sorry for. I hope it didn't cause him too much damage. But it sent me down the order. But knowing that I could get back to 8th on the primes compared to everyone else on the option is it's good to know. The only thing I need to work on now is getting my tire wear sorted. But yeah, it's good to know that we've got the pace, the car is there, we can win if we all keep it together. So really happy with tonight.
Tire, of course, a major factor in Spain, so it'll be interesting to see how that one turns out, and we hope that your work comes to some dividends. Thank you for joining us, Tom.
Yeah, thank you.
And we also have Kevin Siggy here. So, pole position, great start to the evening, of course, slightly marred by your 10th place grid penalty caused from a punt in race 1 in Australia, but you come back, you have a strong race up to P7, you start on pole position in race 2, and you got a podium for your efforts as well. So overall, a pretty positive evening for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was hoping to get some good positions in the first race because I had a poor start, unfortunately. But I'd rather be cautious and not crash into anybody instead of getting a penalty. But overall, the races were good as planned, and there were some cheeky moments with some guys that I wasn't happy of, but I can live with that. And for race 2, I was kind of planning to go deep into turn 1 just to not get crashed out, but unfortunately I went a bit too deep than I would have liked. But in the end, great results for the team, especially on the podium.
Your battle in race 1 with Emmanuel Geschella and Philip Cullen, I said it on the broadcast, is one of the best battles I've seen in my 2.5 years, or I think it must be 3 years now, of commentating that I've done. Surely it gives you a lot of confidence in terms of racecraft, because we both know you've been criticised for your racecraft, but to have such close battling with such aggressive drivers and to pull off all these fantastic moves, it must give you confidence that, when mind comes to metal, you can absolutely make the battling entertaining, but also clean at the same time.
Oh yeah, of course. I don't know why people are telling that I'm a little bit dirty, but okay, fair enough. I like fighting. I was pretty lucky not to hit Emmanuel a bit. I had fun in that battle, a bit cheeky moments with Emmanuel, but okay, I can live with that, no problem. But I love the fight, to be honest. That's what racing is for, right?
Absolutely. Well done on both your results, Kevin. Thank you for joining us. And finally, we have our race 2 winner. It seemed to be a day of Nijo's past, as Ruud Easterbeek, you took a well-deserved race 2 win, holding off heavy competition from Sven de Vries. Surely a very, very positive result to put Walk on the map, especially after such a disappointing Australia.
Yes, definitely. I mean, race 2, as you say, Sven was challenging me really hard. I couldn't get rid of him. Every time I tried to pull a gap, he just closed the gap again with the slipstream. So it was impossible to get rid of him. So I'm very lucky, I think, that I got that win over the line, especially in the last corner. I felt my rear left tire locking up because of the wear. I think it was if it was one lap longer, I surely wouldn't have won. So great result indeed.
Now I want to address something that your team owner said post Australia. He labelled you and Risto Capit the 2 best drivers in Supercup. Now I'm interested, does that put a lot of pressure on you? Because I know that you were heavily criticised by a lot of people for dropping down from Super League, which you were very, very competitive in to start with, down to Supercup. A lot of people said it was a bit misguided, that you were going to dominate the championship. There was no point in it really, but everyone starts from square one in Supercup, as we all know, and as we saw, even the best drivers like yourself are not susceptible to bad events like Australia. But does your team owner saying that you are the best driver in Supercup put a lot of pressure on you, or do you sort of take it on your back, or do you even just ignore the comments and just focus on what you're doing?
Yeah, I just focus on the job I have to do. I mean, those are not my words, and I mean, if you say about me dropping back to Supercup, I think the field is so close. I mean, no one is gonna dominate it. I think, and There are a lot of people. A lot of people are going for the title. But yeah, I just keep focused on the things I have to do, and that's it, I think.
It's just interesting to get the insight on, having so much praise from so many different places, and then, at least you're showing that you do deserve some plaudits, especially with a 2 in a first. It was a fantastic result for you and Walk Racing. So thank you very much for joining us, Rude, and good luck next time in Spain.
Thank you.
Right then, so Sam, as I say, next time we're going from a track with relatively little tyre wear to a track with all the tyre wear. It's the Circuit de Catalunya, and we had some good fun last year, and we're sure to have some fun this year as well.
Yeah, I can't remember last year's race. It's too long ago.
Yeah.
Now. I can't even remember my own race in Formula Challenge. It was very eventful, but I think it's a track that's kind of grown into a bit more of a liked track in recent years. It might not be the best at overtaking, but it's still a good technical track with lots of long sweeping corners. There's something to really test the driver. It's not one that's easy to consistently pump in the lap time, so Catalonia should be a good race, as was the 2 races today. Once again, we saw some fantastic racing, and I know we kind of jumped to the interviews quite quickly, so I didn't really get to analyse too much of the race, but I figured I'd just like to say that Adrian McNaughton did an absolutely fantastic job in race 2, picking up 7th position. I actually thought he was going to drop back and not really be able to hold a top 10 finish, but he held his own and had some great battling with the likes of Muscat, Holmes and Yunt. So good job by Adrian McNaughton today. He's my second driver of the race, because I'm going to give driver of the race to Rude here for picking up his first win in Supercup this year and the first win for Walk Racing in Supercup.
Yeah, I think there's no complaints from me there, and I think the racing from today, it just proves you don't have to get wet to have a lot of fun in Supercup, and we certainly hope that the great racing continues. And if you want more great racing in different series, then make sure to tune in around the same time tomorrow when Simon Smith and Thomas Hinds commentate on the Bahrain Grand Prix. We've got upgrades for the first time this year. It should be exciting. And then join us next Wednesday when we kick off the 2015 World Sports Series. That's sure to be an exciting time. We're kicking off in Spain, preluding the Spanish Grand Prix week, where on Tuesday we have Open Series and Formula Challenge, and then do make sure to join us in 2 weeks' time on Wednesday when we're back with the Super Cup in Spain. I'd just like to say these final moments to thank our cameraman, as always, Ben Hackerson, for providing us with the pictures. He does a fantastic job. I'd like to thank my co-commentator, Sam Jones, for being the